Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Carl. Welcome to Carl's Opinion. This is our Saturday night, late night, live call-in show. Welcome everybody, and we got a lot of news to cover tonight. And to see everybody in the chat there, Solex, Teresa Beverly, how you doing? And Karen Finley, good seeing you down there. And let's see, I saw some people up top, Teresa, and I saw somebody else. Oh, Rocky, how you doing, Rocky? Good seeing you there, Rocky man. And Moki, welcome to Carl's Opinion. And let's see, that's yeah, pretty much about everybody there so far. And just want to thanks to everybody who'll be joining us during the time we're on air, and to all those people reviewing on the rebroadcast later. So yeah, it's the poll numbers there. I was talking about this yesterday with Elizabeth, and we were going through it, and it looked like let's see here real quick. Yeah, with Common Sense Elizabeth, and we were talking about the Rasmussen poll. Rasmussen had him up over 50%. Rasmussen's a little bit of an outlier once in a while, so it was nice to see NBC. They had a report on it. It was their poll. And the funny thing is, they took that poll right up to that Wednesday event, with the send her back line, because they were hoping with the way they covered it. I mean, they just covered it. I mean, even this morning they still were covering it. It was like 3 days later. It's like, gee, you got nothing else to click the sound button, please. Let's see. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Let's see. Okay, hold on. All right. Hopefully that does it. We should be back on. This should be just a couple of seconds here. We should all be going, and hopefully that worked out okay. Let's find out. We should be back on. This should be just a couple. All right, so there we go. Sorry, guys. I was downloading some YouTube videos today. In fact, I was downloading one to be able to show us on the screen today, and I had to make some adjustments on my broadcast delay, so that kind of messed everything up going out. And so, so I reset one, but I didn't reset the other, unfortunately. So yeah, you saw the picture. You didn't see the yeah, it was whatever. But anyway, kind of long to describe. But anyway, back up. Hey, thanks for the heads up there in the chat room. Appreciate that, Solex. Let me know that yeah we I had a problem with the audio there. So thank you very very much. Totally appreciate it. Yeah, nothing worse than like if the audio is not working, and a lot of times people will be afraid to say something like, "Hey man, your audio is not working," because they don't want to like hurt your feelings. Hurt my feelings anytime you want, because you don't hurt them. I want this going out good. Effie will tell you. Anybody who knows me will tell you. I put a lot of time into the audio and the video, get everything right, and with the broadcast delay as well. So thanks very much, but totally appreciate that, Solex. and totally appreciate it. In fact, Solix will we're gonna make you a moderator right now for that one. That was a solid, man. So there you go. All right, Solix, you're a moderator now. That was a solid. Totally appreciate it. But okay, good deal. All right. So anyway, yeah, his as I was saying, which you everybody missed, but I'll say it again for so this time you can hear it. It's not good about I've only heard it, but his approval rating jumped up to 48% on the NBC poll. And like I was saying, was that the NBC quick did this poll because they figured after that Wednesday, send her back chant going on at the rally in North Carolina, and the way the mainstream media covered it, the networks, I mean, NBC, ABC, CBS, MSNBC, CNN, CNBC, everybody, the way everybody covered, they figured they would just inundate the American people, and like, there's no way their poll numbers would his poll numbers would stay where they were, and they were expecting them definitely to go down. I mean, they wanted to see them in the 30s. Like, oh, this is going to be horrible. The American people, hey, Rocky, there you go. But yeah, he was expecting to see the poll numbers go. The mainstream media wanted to see the poll numbers go way down because again, they live in this bubble of Washington D.C. and New York, and they just talk to their friends and they talk to the liberal friends and they talk to their audience, and their audience are all never Trumpers just like they are. So they go, oh, that's awful. Well, anything Trump did would be awful. He stepped on an ant outside. Oh my God, he stepped on that ant. What a terrible person. Oh, and people shouldn't vote for him. Every time he does something, it's like, oh, but you shouldn't vote for him. You shouldn't vote for him. You shouldn't vote for him. And then this happens, like, oh, you shouldn't vote for him. Well, they just repeat the same thing. Lawrence O'Donnell was saying, goes, after the tweet and after the, send her back thing, O'Donnell's on his show and he goes, I know Trump supporters, they're friends of mine, and I just can't see how they would vote for him after this. We talked about this last night. It's like that's not very sophisticated. If you're gonna like say, okay, you're voting for somebody because not because of his personality, you're voting for him because his policies that he's going to enact, that he's going to lead on. You believe his policies are good for the United States of America. I mean, I don't care if the guy's got a big wart on his face. If I think his policies are going to help, my fellow Americans and help our country, whether it be domestic policy, international policy, I'm going to vote for that guy. Again, I don't care if he's got a wart on his face. I don't care. I mean, what do I care? As long as what he's doing is right. So like the Lawrence O'Donnell's MSNBC crowd, they think, oh, gee, he says something bad, and we're say, oh, okay, well, yeah, we love all his policies. We love the way the economy's rocking and rolling. We love the way we're being respected overseas. We love the idea that we're, peace is breaking out on the Korean Peninsula. The first president to walk across the DMZ. The trade deals they're getting better for us. The trade deals are only getting better for us. Okay, so I mean, every trade deal he's renegotiating is getting better. That's just the way it is. And this deal with China is getting better. Mexico, Canada, the European Union. We're probably going to be doing some deals with Britain after the Brexit pullout. From the European Union when they leave. Southeast Asia. India, etc. I mean, everything's getting great. The American people are so unsophisticated that they're going to say, oh yeah, but he said a couple of bad things. So then we're just going to say, no, we don't like the direction the country's going, and like let's hand it off to somebody else. And more importantly than that, we're going to hand it off to somebody else who is opposite of everything that this president is doing, which is working, and we're going to try something new that we don't know if it's going to work or not, and nobody can really say for sure it's going to work or not. And most likely, if you look at all the examples from around the world where they've tried this kind of socialism nonsense in the past, it doesn't work over and over and over again. So it's not going to work here. So yeah, we're just going to change the way the entire direction of the country, and that's their opinion. And so they figured, well, gee, the American people would feel the same way. They have to. We're the smart ones. We're the educated ones. We have to, they obviously listen to us. Well, obviously now they don't. Because you know what? You've been crying racism for 2.5 years. You've been crying Russia, Russia, Russia. He's a Russian agent saying the most horrendous things in the world. He's working for the Russians. He was a secret, a sleeper cell. All this crazy nonsense stuff you've been saying for 2.5 years. It all turned out to be bullshit. And then you turn to the American people. Oh no, believe us on this. This now, believe us on. We don't just hate the guy. No, we're just telling you the facts. No, they're not telling you any facts. Brian Williams, for 2.5 years, I kept hearing about the smoking gun. Every Friday night, I swear, it was hilarious. He'd come on Friday night, and it'd be some new story. It'd break Friday. It's like, Oh, it's, and he have his guest panel on, and the same stupid fucking question every Friday night. Hey, is this a smoking gun? The noose is tightening. Da 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 da. All this same old stupid cliches, and then Friday that this whatever story they were covering that everybody get all worked up about. Literally by Tuesday, the story was debunked or was gone. Just gone. And then they wouldn't mention, oh, by the way, that story we covered Friday? Yeah, it turned out to be nothing. Of course they wouldn't say that. You know why? They would just get onto some other stupid, crazy thing and then say, and then by, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then by Friday, it's like, oh, here we go. Is this the smoking gun? Is this is going to end it? This is worse than Watergate? All this stupid bullshit. All these, old attorneys from the old Watergate days beyond there, pretending like they're still experts about something. Their best days are behind them, and let's be honest, they probably never had a best day. One of those kind of people, and just talking all this gibberish, and then same thing. It would all be debunked by Tuesday, Wednesday, and next Friday it was on to something else, without reminding you, hey, we just bullshitted you last week. Follow us again this week. That kind of crap. And so then they figure, okay, we're gonna do a poll real quick. Let's get this thing out because his number's going to go down. And that's going to demoralize his voters. And I heard that asshole from CNBC who was on MSNBC this morning, John Harwood, whatever his name is, like hard-headed, you got wood in his head. I mean, some people just have a right name for themselves. And he says, yeah, Trump's base is really small. Like, what the hell is this guy talking about? It's like, has he not been watching for like the last 2.5 years? Even with all the bullshit you've been throwing at the American people, all the negative shit you've been saying about President Trump for the last 2.5 years, his numbers always stayed a solid 44%. 44. And as Stick's number says, he doesn't. It's not that he has, a low ceiling. He's got a high floor. He doesn't have a low ceiling. He's got a high floor. That base support's always been there for him. 44% through all this negative stuff. You can only imagine if you didn't get all the negative press how high his numbers would actually be. But it's just inundated over and over and over again. If you hear it enough, you think, oh, man, this Trump guy, there's something wrong with him because, I just heard it 20 times from 20 different people that, there's something wrong with the guy. He's crazy or he's delusional or he's having a nervous breakdown or something, ridiculous. But anyway, so they ran this poll, figuring, okay, this is going to be it. We'll put it out Friday night. We'll be able to cover it the whole weekend on all the morning shows and the talk shows. They put this poll out, and what happens? It comes back, his numbers actually went up from their poll, went up 4 points from their poll. Hey, Common, yeah, I was just talking about the NBC poll. We were talking last night about the Rasmussen poll, and I was saying how Rasmussen's kind of an outlier because they had him over 50. Well, NBC poll even came in at 48. So there you go. So excellent. And if anybody wants to hear a really good discussion about polling and about politics and stuff, you can watch the rebroadcast from last night. I had a really good conversation with both Common Sense, with Elizabeth, and with Effie Loves America. So really, two really good conversations last night. But anyway, so they got this poll. They had a report on it, but they kind of even buried it. Normally, it's their poll, and I guarantee you, if that poll had showed like 39%, his numbers went down 5 points instead of up 4. I guarantee you, man, it would have been wall-to-wall coverage all morning long. Alex Witt would have had it on MSNBC all morning. It would have just been like one. They would, in fact, when they were covering it, they didn't even have like it on the screen. Like they didn't even show the poll on the screen. They give you a visual. Cause that way they, because the people see stuff. They see the numbers 48. They didn't even put it on the damn screen. They just said it out loud. Oh yeah, he's at 48% according to our poll. I mean, it was their poll. They paid a lot of money for it. They didn't even like put it up on the screen or anything, because like shit. But I guarantee you that poll was 39%. Oh my God, it would have been on the screen, on the ticker. It would have been everywhere under the sun. You would never heard the end of it. Big round table discussions. Oh my God, see the president is going. Oh my God. Well, none of that happened. Tough shit. Bunch of assholes. But, and so they just don't know the American people. They don't know us because they don't care to know us. They don't want to know us. They look down their nose at us. They think they're so much better than us. They live in these big cities and these big high rises, and they literally look down on us. Literally. They're snobs. Okay, pure and simple. They're snobs. Period. They live catered lives, get to 6-7 figure a year incomes. They don't give a shit. If they want the economy to do bad, so Trump gets out of office. Why? Why? Again, I asked this question last night. Why are they so afraid of Trump? Why are they so afraid of us? Why are they so afraid of the American people? Why do they put foreign nationals over and above their own fellow citizens? Their own care and concern about foreign nationals over the care and concerns of the American people? Why? Why do they hate themselves so much? I don't know. Were they raised badly? Do they feel guilty because they have some money in their pocket? Well, hey, you know what? I can help you out with that. Just send it to me. I can help you divest yourself of your guilt. Send me your money. Live a working class lifestyle. Get out of the high rise, move out to the suburbs, take the train into work every morning, and go buy a little middle class house and drive a little middle class car. Go buy like a Ford Focus or something, and then you can get over your guilt. And then send me all your paycheck every week. You just send me your paycheck. I'll take care of it. And trust me, I won't feel guilty at all. Nothing. Nada. But anyway, so there's that. I'm gonna have a cigarette. But so I see Effie there, common sense, yeah, and I see Solix, yeah, Solix, yeah, Major Mod Solix, thanks for helping me out there with the audio, appreciate it. And let's see what else got there. But Tony, hey Tony Patriot, how you doing there? See you there, and good job. All right, so let's see. So let's take a look at this story here. It's from Washington Examiner. Let's actually go through it. All right, and let's drop this down a little bit so we can see a little bit better. Well, there we go. All right. Okay. Trump approval ratings jumps just shy of locking in re-election. President Trump's approval ratings has been improving and now is at an all-time high and just a few points shy of what's needed to guarantee him a second term. In the latest Survey Monkey NBC poll out Friday, Trump is at 48%, and he reached 49% in the daily YouGov.com poll this month. There you go. And while both polls of registered voters are at or near highs of his presidency, polling experts said that Trump is actually a bit higher in the polls of likely voters. That's the important poll. You can take a poll of registered voters, but it's the likely voters, people who are likely to go out to the polls and actually vote. That poll number, that's always been the important one. All right. So hold on, here we go. Although almost all of the media polls are conducted among adults or registered voters, President Trump does better usually among likely voters, people who actually vote, said the Trump campaign pollster John McLaughlin. Moving to and past 50% is key because presidents at that level typically win re-election. Our opposition knows that if the president crosses 51% in his job approval, he's very likely to be reelected. In 2004, on election day, George Bush had a 51% job approval. He was reelected with 51% of the vote. 2012, on election day, President Obama had a 51% job approval. He was reelected with 51%, said McLaughlin. He and others said that Trump's slow rise in approvals is why the Democrats are working overtime to stop the White House agenda. Yeah, damn right. President Trump receiving 51% job approval or higher in these media polls will freak out the already deranged Democrats. Yeah, no shit, they are deranged. It's why they have consistently opposed every positive piece of legislation the president has proposed, or they just haven't even talked about it. The First Step Act, if that was a Democrat doing that, oh my God, it would have been all over the place. Opportunity zones, that would have been all over the place. The tax cuts, regulation cuts, that would have been all over the news. Would have been, oh my God, the economy, unemployment, lowest level in 50 years, women, 60 years, African Americans, lowest in history, Hispanic Americans, lowest in history, disabled veterans, lowest in history. I mean, that was, my God, if that was a Democrat, if that was President Obama, you never hear the end of it. But on here, you never hear anything about it. Friday night, Brian Williams, all this great news, the poll numbers. He knew the poll. He already saw the numbers. They didn't talk about it too much Friday night, but he knew the numbers. With their first two stories, they didn't talk about their own poll. They didn't talk about their own poll on Brian Williams Friday night when they had the numbers. First two stories were, let's see, Cohen and Stormy Daniels and the rally in North Carolina 2 days earlier. Even though they had breaking news right there, right in his face, he didn't even report that. The first two stories, the first top half of the hour, that's what they talked about. They didn't even talk about their own poll, their own NBC poll. They didn't even talk about it. You believe that shit? Like, oh, we're fair, we're not biased. Really? Your own poll. You couldn't talk about it? You have to hear about it Saturday morning on Alex's show that nobody watches? Really? Okay. So anyway, let's go ahead and get to main headline of this evening. We were talking about, let's see, we were talking about the whole Russia thing as far as saying that there was no evidence Russia interfered in the presidential election. So we're going to start off with a video. This is why my audio was jacked up. In fact, you know what? Tell you what. While I fix this, I'm going to show you guys a zombie. So you guys get to see the zombie for a few minutes while I while I readjust the video and the audio so we can go ahead and play this Tucker Carlson interview. Okay, so bear with me. You're going to get the zombie for a while. Okay, so just enjoy the zombie, enjoy the music, and everybody keep everybody entertained. It'll be a couple of seconds. I'll be right back. I promise.
During his press conference today, Robert Mueller repeated a claim we've heard from official Washington virtually every day for the past 2.5 years. The claim is that in 2016, Russia made an unprecedented During his press conference today, Robert Mueller repeated a claim we've heard from official Washington virtually every day for the past 2.5 years. The claim is that in 2016, Russia made an unprecedented assault on the integrity of America's democratic system.
Russian intelligence officers who were part of the Russian military launched a concerted attack on our political system. The indictment alleges that they used sophisticated cyber techniques to hack into computers and networks used by the Clinton campaign. They stole private information and then released that information through fake online identities and through the organization WikiLeaks. The releases were designed and timed to interfere with our election and to damage a presidential candidate. There were multiple, systematic efforts to interfere in our election. And that allegation deserves the attention of every American.
Well, that sounds compelling and terrifying, but is it actually true? Have we really proved that? After 2 years of investigations, what does the evidence tell us? Aaron Mate has been covering this story very carefully. He's a contributing writer at The Nation magazine, and he joins us tonight. Aaron, thanks a lot for coming on. So, simple question. Does the evidence back up the claim that the Russian government substantially interfered in the 2016 presidential election?
Well, the evidence that exists might, but we haven't seen it yet. That's the key point. It's quite possible that what Mueller is saying is true, but we haven't seen evidence to establish that yet. Take the theft of the stolen emails. So Mueller has laid out in July 2018 a very detailed indictment of Russian military intelligence officers, as he mentioned today. But we don't know the source of the information that he's basing that indictment on. What I can say pretty definitively is that it does not come from the U.S. agency that would know best what the Russian military intelligence is up to, which is the NSA. Because for NSA information to be publicly released, it would have to be declassified by the president, and we know that that didn't happen here. So we don't know who Mueller is citing when he contends in a detailed indictment that the Russian military intelligence officers did this. Roger Stone's attorneys contend that it was CrowdStrike, and which is a DNC firm that first accused Russia of the DNC hack. And Stone is trying to compel CrowdStrike's evidence through discovery right now. We'll see what happens there. It should be very interesting. But the bottom line here is that we don't know. And in fact, Mueller even acknowledges in his report that he doesn't know, because when he talks about the theft of DNC emails, he talks about the Russians appear to have stolen the emails. He doesn't say the Russians stole the emails. He uses that qualifier, appear. And he also doesn't rule out the fact that...
Wait, I'm sorry, may I stop you right there? This is in, that one right over my head. In the Mueller report, you're saying he does not unequivocally claim that they did it. He says only they appear to have done it?
He's laying out a comprehensive timeline of what he says is the Russian effort to hack into the DNC and to steal information, and information can mean different things, because not just the emails we're talking about research that was stolen, names of employees and so forth. But what we're really concerned about is the emails. And when Mueller is talking about the DNC emails themselves, he uses the qualifier. He says the GRU appears to have stolen the emails. Now, if Mueller knew for sure that they stole the emails, he would say they stole them. And he also doesn't rule out that those emails were physically transferred to WikiLeaks in the summer of 2016, which means he also does not know for sure how those emails made their way to WikiLeaks.
Wow, that's a lot of uncertainty at the center of a story the rest of us have been told for years is absolutely settled. This is settled science. This is the earth is round kind of stuff. Like, anyone who doubts it is a nutcase. Why are they pretending to know things that they don't know?
Well, because we have a media and political culture in this country where we're supposed to just believe what U.S. intelligence officials say on faith, no matter how many times that blows up in our faith. So in our face. So we all know what happened with the Iraq War. Intelligence officials, including Robert Mueller, because he was the head of the FBI, he testified before Congress that Saddam had weapons of mass destruction. He was concerned that Saddam was going to transfer that to terrorists. We know how that turned out. John Brennan, who also played a key role in Russiagate, he was there at the CIA during the Iraq War fiasco. He didn't raise any objections. James Clapper was a U.S. intelligence official during the Iraq War. He claimed that there was intelligence showing that Saddam had moved his weapons of mass destruction into Syria. But despite this record of these people, we're supposed to now believe everything they say on faith. And we're supposed to take seriously, for example, when Robert Mueller says that this Russian social media campaign was part of a sweeping, systematic effort to sow discord. When you look at what the Russian social media activity actually was, it was juvenile clickbait. They spent about $46,000 in Facebook ads on the election, and we're supposed to take seriously this notion that this juvenile clickbait that nobody saw, and it actually wasn't even about the election. It was targeted basically at certain demographics. We're supposed to believe that that influenced malleable American voters.
It's ridiculous. Your average Chevy dealership spends more on Facebook ads every year. I mean, it's like insane, actually. Aaron Mate, a man of the left, an honest man, a skeptical journalist. We have too few of those. Happy to have you on, and I hope you'll come back. Thank you.
Thank you.
All righty, we should be back now. So, hey, everybody, how's it going? Thanks for your patience. When I bring in another audio, when I bring another YouTube video in, uh, and I got that broadcast delay, you kind of have to work about 4 different things at the same time to kind of get it all back together again. So hopefully we should be back now. I'm going to listen here on the YouTube real quick. So give me a second just to hear myself on the YouTube. Make sure we're up here. Alrighty, we should be back now. So, hey. Yeah, okay, we're back. I just heard myself on YouTube. All right, so thanks everybody for your patience. Much appreciated on that. And yeah, I got the broadcast delay going, and so then when I record another a person's video, like another YouTube video, I have to readjust all the settings and everything just to be able to play it, so it doesn't get all screwed up. And then when I get done playing it, I got to go put everything back together again. Like the Humpty Dumpty on the wall couldn't get back together again. So there we are. So yay! All right. So anyway, so you heard that interview that Tucker did with that guy Aaron Mate from. Now, Aaron used to write for The Nation magazine. Now, I know you've got a lot of sophisticated members of our subscribers, and they know The Nation is like the far left magazine. I mean, it is the leftist magazine that's out there in the country. It's not liberal. It's not neoliberal. It's left. It's The Nation magazine. Okay, so it's far to the left of Huffington Post. It's far to the left of Salon. It's left. And here's this guy Aaron Monte, and he went back and he took a look at the Mueller report, and because he's kind of the reason why you have some people still on the left are. They don't always believe the intelligence community. They remember what happened in Iraq. You heard him mention that. Like, hey, we were told about weapons of mass destruction. And anybody who looked at that at the time, said, well, wait a second, this doesn't make any sense. Okay, because the whole thing was he had weapons of mass destruction. He's going to hand them off to Osama bin Laden. And now, Saddam Hussein was a megalomaniac. Okay, I mean, he loved himself. He loved, himself. He loved himself. Okay, big statues of him, with the big hands with the swords, everything else. He loved his money. He loved his wealth. He loved his power. And, he watches movies. And remember that movie with Ben Affleck and Morgan Freeman? The nuclear bomb goes off in Baltimore, and they send that little, robot out to go collect some of the samples. And the guy goes, I can tell you exactly where the nuclear material for that bomb was made, the date it was made, and where it came from. And so obviously Saddam knows we had that technology. And it's like, okay, I'm going to build a bomb in my country, and then I'm going to hand it off to, Osama bin Laden, whose only real address is a cave. And then, of course, when they find out it was my bomb that Saddam, that Al Qaeda used to, like, say, a dirty bomb to put on a container ship and to, sail into, New York City Harbor or Long Beach or something, they're going to come after me and they're going to blow me the hell up. They're going to blow my country up. They're going to blow me up with it. So, the question was, why would he do that? Not to mention, a lot of people don't know that Saddam Hussein ran a very secular country. I mean, Osama bin Laden had his way. He would have, taken out Saddam Hussein and his sons and hung them from the nearest lamppost he could find. Saddam Hussein, women didn't have to wear burqas or hijabs. Women were scientists. Women were doctors. Women were lawyers. You had religious freedom out the kazoo. Sunnis, Shiites, just on the Islam faith. We also had Christians. You had a bishop. Roman Catholic bishop was there in Iraq. You had Catholic churches. You had, check this one out, this will blow some of you people away. You had Jewish synagogues inside Iraq when Saddam Hussein was president. And they never got harassed. Nobody ever graffitied any of their synagogues. Nothing. Never happened. Why? Because Saddam Hussein had that private, security force that would come around and kill you if you went against him. And he said nobody messes with anybody. Period. There was no civil war between the Kurds and the Sunnis and the Shiites. And we were talking about this last night with Common Sense. A lot of Jews split Iraq when he was deposed because they knew what was coming next. A lot of Christians split Iraq also because they knew what was coming next. So I mean. The idea that Saddam Hussein would give this idiot, Osama bin Laden a bomb, knowing it's going to be tracked back to him, knowing that we would blow him to smithereens. Because remember, in the first Gulf War, Saddam Hussein actually did have weapons of mass destruction in the first Gulf War back in 1991. He had those chemical weapons that we gave him to use against Iran, for the Iraq-Iran war. So we knew he had them because we're the ones who gave it to him. Okay, so we said, hey, if you use any of that shit on our troops, we're going nuclear. And that was, they told him in no uncertain terms. You can read about it. You can look it up. They told him, if you use any chemical weapons against our troops, we're going nuclear, and that includes you. You're gone. You're done. Your whole country's done with you. He didn't use any chemical weapons. Now we blew up some facilities that had chemical weapon storage facilities. We blew them up. We didn't blow them up very efficiently because we didn't use enough heat on them, and a lot of soldiers got sick, from that first Gulf War, and that was the reason for it, because that chemical shit went out there. There was alarms were going off, around the facilities, but he didn't use any on us because we told him we'd go nuclear. So he knew we'd go nuclear if he had a bomb and then he used it. So that second Gulf War didn't make any sense to me, and it didn't make sense to like a lot of people on the left. They didn't really trust the intelligence officers, and now we know you really can't trust these guys. We've seen what they've done to President Trump. The DNI, James Clapper, the CIA, John Brennan, the FBI, James Comey, McCabe, Strzok, all those guys. These guys just have their own agenda. They only care about about themselves. They don't care about this country. They sure shit don't care about us. We just saw in the last 2.5 years, the Mueller report confirmed it, that these guys were all, using their own power to try to get their own personal agenda through, and nothing to do with the American people. They knew that election wasn't rigged. They knew the Russians didn't interfere. They knew the Russians, didn't change the results. So they knew President Trump was democratically elected by the people of this country through the Electoral College, through our republic and through our Constitution. They knew he was a legitimate president. They still sought to take him down. That's our intelligence community. So this guy, he's always been leery of intelligence. He decided to actually go back, look at the Mueller report, look at the indictment, and say, you know what, Mueller, in the way Mueller wrote it was like when he wrote appeared that they stole the emails. And H.A. Goodman, if you want to listen to somebody who's really good on this, H.A. Goodman, he's really good on this. He goes, look, this is bullshit. The Russians didn't steal the emails and make them public just so they could tell everybody Bernie Sanders got cheated. No. What Goodman says, and I believe him, I agree with Goodman on this one, it was someone from the DNC who leaked it. Remember, and when this whole campaign started back in 2016, 2015, Tulsi Gabbard was with the DNC. I think she was number 2 or number 3. She resigned from the DNC because she saw what the DNC with Clinton was doing to Bernie Sanders. She didn't like that because she saw they were trying to rig it against Bernie Sanders. So she just resigned. And she said, I'm out of here. So obviously what happened was when it got near the end of that convention, somebody in the DNC, didn't have to be anybody high level, somebody in the DNC leaked the emails showing that the DNC was screwing over Sanders, figuring Sanders would make a big floor fight at the convention. Well, Sanders backed down, didn't make a floor fight, didn't challenge anything, and went away. And hence H.A. Goodman, a lot of other Bernie Sanders supporters split, and they went over to Donald Trump. But H.A. Goodman says the Russians, he's like, okay, so the Russians hacked into the DNC, and they did that so they could then tell the world that Bernie Sanders got cheated. No. He goes, there's no evidence of that. And this guy just confirmed it here. And there was a nice article here, which I have here. This just came out just a few days ago. The same guy that you saw on Tucker there, that was, I believe, an interview from May. This is the article he wrote. And now he didn't write it for The Nation, so my guess is The Nation said, see you later. He wrote it for this other outfit. Let's go and get to that right now. So this is from Aaron Monte. This is the guy you just saw interviewed by Tucker Carlson. This is from just July 5th. And now he's writing for Real Clear Investigations. So obviously the Nation and him parted ways. They didn't like what he was doing. So anyway, at a May, you get a little more detail here than on the interview. At a May press conference capping his tenure as special counsel, Robert Mueller emphasized what he called the central allegation of the 2-year Russia probe. The Russian government, Mueller sternly declared, engaged in multiple systematic efforts to interfere in our election, and that allegation deserves the attention of every American. Mueller's comments echoed every American. So he's saying, like, this is it. Multiple systematic efforts to interfere in our election, and the central allegation of this 2-year probe. This is it. He's getting ready to tell us all what's going on. Mueller's comments echoed a January 2017 intelligence community assessment asserting that with high confidence that Russia conducted a sweeping 2016 election influence campaign. Quote, I don't think we've ever encountered a more aggressive or direct campaign to interfere in our election process than Director of National Intelligence James Clapper told a Senate hearing. James Clapper. We can all trust James Clapper. While the 448-page Mueller report found no conspiracy between Donald Trump's campaign and Russia, it offered voluminous details to support the sweeping conclusion that the Kremlin worked to secure Trump's victory. The report claims that the interference operation occurred principally on two fronts. Russian military intelligence officers hacked and leaked embarrassing Democratic Party documents, and government-linked troll farm orchestrated a government-linked troll farm orchestrated a sophisticated and far-reaching social media campaign that denigrated Hillary Clinton and promoted Trump. But a close examination of the report, and this is what this guy did, a close examination of the report shows that none of those headline assertions are supported by the report's evidence or other publicly available sources. They are further undercut by investigative shortcomings and the conflicts of interest of key players involved. And he goes on to state what those problems are. The report uses qualified and vague language to describe key events, indicating that Mueller and his investigators do not actually know for certain whether Russian intelligence officers stole Democratic Party emails or how those emails were transferred to WikiLeaks. The report's timeline of events appear to defy logic. According to its narrative, WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange announced the publication of Democratic Party emails not only before he received the documents, but before he even communicated with the source that provided them to him. There is strong reason to doubt Mueller's suggestion that an alleged Russian cutout called Goosefer 2.0 supplied the stolen emails to Assange. Mueller's decision not to interview Assange, which made no sense, a central figure who claims Russia was not behind the hack, suggests an unwillingness to explore avenues of evidence on fundamental questions. U.S. intelligence officials cannot make definitive conclusions about the hacking of the Democratic National Committee computer servers because the government, the FBI, did not analyze those servers themselves. Instead, they relied on the forensics of CrowdStrike, a private contractor for the DNC, paid for by the DNC, that was not a neutral party. Much as Russian dossier compiler Christopher Steele, also a DNC contractor, was not a neutral party either. This puts two Democrat-hired contractors squarely behind underlying allegations in this affair, a key circumstance that Mueller ignores. I mean, my God. I mean, that's huge. I mean, the two big sources of information are both DNC, partisans. And the FBI never got to look at the servers. That's absurd. They never got to, examine them with all their forensics and their high-tech guys and stuff. I remember when the story first broke, I don't remember hearing about CrowdStrike. Oh, the FBI, we were looking into it, and we see they were hacked. Well, no, they looked at a report written by this contractor, which who the hell knows? Further, the government allowed CrowdStrike and the Democratic Party's legal counsel to submit redacted records, meaning CrowdStrike and not the government decided what could be revealed and or not revealed evidence of hacking, or not regarding evidence of hacking. Yeah, this was during the Obama administration, during his Comey's FBI, and Loretta Lynch. Remember Loretta Lynch from the nice little airport meeting with Bill Clinton on the runway in Phoenix. Mueller's report conspicuously does not allege that the Russian government carried out the social media campaign. Doesn't even say that. Instead, it blames, as Mueller said in his closing remarks, a private Russian entity known as the Internet Research Agency. Mueller also falls far short of proving that the Russian social campaign was sophisticated, or even more than minimally related to the 2016 election. As with the collusion and Russian hacking allegations, Democratic officials had a central and overlooked hand in generating the alarm about Russian social media activity. So again, the Democrats are the ones yelling about it. John Brennan, of course, he has no axe to grind. John Brennan, then director of the CIA, played a seminal and overlooked role in all facets of what became Mueller's investigation. The suspicions that triggered the initial collusion probe, the allegations of Russian interference, and the intelligence assessments that purported to validate the interference allegations that Brennan himself helped generate. Right, if you remember correctly, this whole thing, Misford meeting with Papadopoulos in March of 2016. Misford meets with him and says, hey, the Russians got the, Hillary Clinton emails. You want to buy them? You with the Trump campaign now. And Papadopoulos was like, man, what the hell is this about? And it's kind of weird, right? And then, of course, they send Downer in to meet with him in London, to meet with Papadopoulos in London and get drunk together at a bar. And then Downer says that Papadopoulos told him that this guy, Misford, told him he had Russian emails for sale and asked him if he wanted to buy some. Well, whether Papadopoulos said it or not, he very well could have. Like, hey, man, you're not going to believe this crazy guy. Well, Downer was Australian intelligence, and Misford was Italian intelligence, and they all work with Brennan, right? So then, and of course, they're all working with the FBI at the same time. This is just a nice little cabal of, co-conspirators, meeting in back alleys and freight elevators. That's not where you find the will of the people, You don't find that in back alleys and freight elevators. You find it at the ballot box. Anyway. if anybody can tell me the movie I just quoted, you'll get like a hat, maybe, or maybe you just get a big star next to your name, you know. But anyway, but nonetheless. So anyway, so Mitford tells Papadopoulos, hey, the Russians got emails, and do you want to buy some? And he's like, what? So then he tells Downer, supposedly, maybe he never did. Papadopoulos doesn't remember whether he told him or not. He goes, I could have. I was pretty drunk, and this story was pretty crazy, this Mitford guy. So anyway, so then Downer goes back to the FBI and says, hey, you're not going to believe this. And they go, what? like why? Like, really, we're not going to believe what you're about to tell us that we just told you you're going to come back and tell us. He says, hey, this Papadopoulos guy works with the Trump campaign. He says some guy's offering to sell him, the Hillary Clinton emails, to use against her in the campaign. And Strzok goes, oh my God, wow, who would have figured that? We never knew anything about that. Of course, they set the whole damn thing up. This is counter intel. So the Strzok goes, we better open a counterintelligence investigation right away to the Batcave. Assholes. So anyway, now we got to open the counterintelligence investigation. Meanwhile, they've already been bugging through FISA 702 warrants without an actual FISA court warrant. Papadopoulos, Carter Page, and several other guys whose names escape me at the time, but guys who got dragged through the mud on all this. And then they're already been hacking into, doing the, this guy gets to look at these, 20 phone calls, 4 levels out, NSA stuff, Snowden material, like he talked about it, that you saw in the movie. Says, okay, you can listen to this target, and then he talked to 20 people, and then you can listen to those 20 people, each of those 20 times 20 times 20 times 20, and eventually you get to Trump, eventually you get to Manafort, you get to Lewandowski, you get to the entire campaign team, and then you steal all their campaign material, all their debate preparation material, all their strategy, and then you get to pass it on in real time from DOJ up to the White House, where you find Joe Biden, who is the liaison, who then shoots it over to Mr. John Podesta, who is then in the Clinton campaign, and then you get real time intel. Which, again, my opinion, that was the whole purpose of all this. All of this sounds really bad, but it's meant to sound bad, so you don't really figure out what they were really doing, which is, in my opinion, they were really doing. So there you go. And so anyway, so they begin this counterintel investigation. Then they get the actual FISA warrant where they lie. They lie because they knew back in beginning of 16, that the Steele dossier was full of shit. It didn't hold any water, but they just used it anyway. They lied to the FISA court judge, who just rubber stamped everything anyway. They knew he would, and sure enough, off they go to the races. So anyway, so here we go. I'll read this again. John Brennan, then director of the CIA, played a seminal and overlooked role in all facets of what became Mueller's investigation. The suspicions that triggered the initial collusion probe, the allegations of Russian interference, and the intelligence assessment that purported to validate the interference allegation that Brennan himself helped generate, like I just described. Yet Brennan has since revealed himself to be, like CrowdStrike and Steele, hardly a neutral party. Yes, in fact, a partisan with a deep animus toward Trump. Definitely. I mean, if he just retired, and people would have maybe not noticed anything. But he's been the big never Trumper. So then you can say, oh, wait a second, this guy was in charge of all this shit. Maybe he was the one helping set all this up, which he did. Now, this guy says none of this means that Mueller's report's court findings of sweeping and systematic Russian government election interference is necessarily false, but his report does not present sufficient evidence to substantiate it. And the shortcomings has gone overlooked in the partisan battle over two more highly charged aspects of Mueller's report: Trump-Russia collusion and Trump's potential obstruction. So there you go. And it's just amazing that it takes someone on the left to actually go back and deep dive into the report and go back and look at all the transcripts, look at the indictment, and look at everything. I remember Carter Page was never indicted. Papadopoulos was never indicted for Russian collusion, for conspiracy with the Russians, or anything. All the other guys didn't even get indicted at all. Anybody else who worked in the Trump campaign, Trump, of course, was never indicted or even suggested he was guilty. So I mean, it's just one disgusting thing after another. And then Anthony Weiner's computer that had all those, that's where he kept his insurance. But yeah, pretty crazy, huh? I mean, Jesus. I mean, that's just insane. And then with today with the poll numbers going through the roof for Trump, and then with this story coming out and everything else. And you wonder why the American people aren't listening to the mainstream media anymore. When they call us names and everything. You wonder why. It's like, the American people are like, okay, we've had it. And let me tell you, independents are like at that point too. They've had it. You know, we all watch a lot of independents on YouTube, and you know, you can tell they're frustrated. They're like, you know, these people they're like all over the place. You're talking about the leftists now. You know, they're not even liberals anymore. These aren't liberals. Liberals, you want to watch a liberal? Watch Tim Pool. You want to watch a libertarian? Watch Dixon Hammer. Okay. You want to watch another liberal? Watch H.A. Goodman. That's a liberal. And they're like all like, you know, all these. Tim Pool hasn't said it yet, but he's either not going to vote at all, or I'm telling you, if it gets any crazier, I can see him saying, we're gonna be watching the show one day, and he's gonna say, fuck it, I'm voting for Trump, and he's gonna put on a Trump hat. Zoom. I was on H.A. Goodman's show. I think it was the first night he actually put a Trump hat on, and I wrote on the chat, hey, I like the hat, and he's like, yeah, I'm finally putting one on. He had a "Make America Great Again" hat on. He's like, "Yeah, that's it. I'm done. I'm just putting the damn hat on." So one day we were watching Tim Pool, and he'll be like, "I don't give a shit." He'll just take off the beanie finally, and then like be some kind of like bald head or something. I don't know. And he'll just put on his Trump hat. Or what he'll do, so he doesn't have to take the beanie off. He'll just put the Trump hat over the top of it. Be like, "Dunk," because I don't care. I don't care how this looks. So, but anyway, live call-in show. Anybody wants to call in? So yeah, phone lines are open. Audio's all working. We should all be good to go. So yeah. So in fact, let me double check real quick. All right, good. So I'm happy with the audio. Yay! Carl's happy with the audio. But let's see. Let's go to cut across here. But yeah, live calling show. Phone number is 775-273-8970. You want to appear by a live video call? Oh, let everybody know. You know, I always say, hey, you guys never call. Well, I called today. I called on a live call-in show. And in fact, I appeared by a video call, by the way, on Anthony Brian Logan's show. He does his shows, his live call-in shows every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on both Wednesday and Saturday. And I used to call in all the time, actually. In fact, it was one of the first shows I was calling in on. And so that's what gave me the idea, actually, for doing a live call-in show here, and also for wanting to do a video call-in show, because I actually did a video call-in. He uses Skype for his video call-ins. I use vMix video call. And so I actually, I had to go back. I haven't done a Skype phone call, video call in a long time, so I had to, I had to kind of figure that out today. Is that, okay, how am I going to do this with Anthony's show? And I did. I got it all set up. And I put some stuff in the chat for him, and I said, hey, and I think I might have been the first, or I think I might have been the first, yeah, I was the first caller in fact, this afternoon, and I did it through a Skype video call. But it's funny because, I have my audio set up all here for going out here, a certain volume. But going through to his Skype, I had to cut, he goes, well, you kind of coming through kind of hot, kind of loud over here. And I said, okay, hold on. And I had to cut my audio down, my volume level down in half for him because it was going through the phone lines really hot. So that was kind of funny. But after that, it was good. I had a nice little phone call with him, and hadn't talked to him in a long time. So he was like, yeah, I haven't heard from you in a long time. It was kind of cool. And hey, Forbidden, how you doing tonight? And so yeah, so that was fun. And I asked him. He's big in the Blexit movement. He's one of the top guys with the Blexit movement with Candace Owens and Brandon Tatum. Asked him about that. They got some event coming up in D.C. I saw on their site, so I asked him about that. He said it might be next month, or they might do something like in October. They may combine the Young Black Leadership Summit, which remember from last year was a big success. Unfortunately, that was the weekend they caught that shooter. Not the shooter. The guy who sent the fake bombs. Yeah, they caught him that weekend, like literally that weekend, the day they were meeting with Trump, for all 400 of the Young Black Leadership Summit, and of course the mainstream media, they try to talk shit about these guys, because these guys they showed up wearing their "Make America Great Again" hats. Now we know these guys from YouTube, and we see them on their YouTube channels, and we see them wearing their "Make America Great Again" hats, from last year. I watch a lot of black conservatives. I watch a lot of black YouTube, Black First sites as well. Moderated on a few sites, and so they showed up wearing their "Make America Great Again" hats. And the mainstream media was like, "Oh, I can't believe the Trump people gave them out these hats to wear." And I'm like, anybody who knows these guys knows, are you fucking stupid? These guys have their own hats. In fact, a lot of them did live videos or uploaded videos of them at the airport. Getting on the plane to fly out there, and they had their hats on in the airport and stuff. And when they landed, they showed them walking to the hotel with their hats on and everything. So the next morning, they all these people had their own hats. None of these people had to be. Nobody had to hand them hats. They wear them on their YouTube channels. They wear them all the time. They catch some shit for it once in a while, but these guys, they wear it all the time. And so the mainstream media you can tell they just don't watch any YouTube, or if they did, they just were just straight out lying. But anyway, so it looks like they may be doing a combination. He said this on air today. Maybe doing a combination Blexit with the Young Black Leadership Summit again. So maybe sometime in October. I wasn't able to go last year, but I definitely want to go this year. It looked like a really great event. And then last year they tied it together also with the walkaway movement. So it was actually the same weekend. And so a lot of the guys went from the walkaway movement and hung out at the Young Black Leadership Summit a venue, and a lot of the Young Black Leadership Summit guys went over and hung out with the walkaway movement. As Democrats who are walking away from liberals who are walking away from the Democratic Party. And so there was like this whole cool combination of people all pro-Trump. They're all pro-Trump people, all like, yeah, Trump, yeah, and it was really cool. So it was a nice phone call. Got to talk to him. He just went over. Anthony just went over 300,000 subs. I've been watching him since a long time ago when he was a lot less than that. But he does a great show, and he does great videos too. If you ever watch Anthony Brian Logan ABL, he does really, really great shows, and it's really a lot of fun to watch. He does a lot of research himself. You can tell. Again, that's the kind of shows I like watching. I like people who do a lot of research and they present to you a nice finished product. They kind of tied a couple different articles together and do a little analysis into stuff, and and I like that. And so Anthony Brian Logan, he does that a lot. And it's really good. And plus his call-in show is a lot of fun. He does it for 3 hours straight. Takes a lot of phone calls. He goes on for like 20 minutes first before he starts taking any phone calls, and he starts taking them. So, yeah. So, anyway, the point of this story is I called in. I appeared on a video call on someone else's site. So, there you go. Every time I go to rewatch the movie, I can take notes. Carl comes on. Since we were on Carl's show till 5 a.m. Yeah, we were on late last night. I didn't realize when I got done, we were on for 4 hours. The whole video was 4.5 hours because, the first half hour, I play the music and stuff and, kind of give a little headline there and, whatever. But, yeah, we were on for 4 hours last night. I was like, oh, shit, man. It was like 4 hours. Like, damn. That was shit. 4 hours, 4 hours without a bathroom break. That's pretty good. Hey, I'm not as old as I think. If I was really old, it'd be like every 20 minutes. I got to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. All right. But, okay, so let's get to the next group of stories here. Let me pull this up. Where were we? Oh, actually, let me cover this New York Times story real quick. Let me cover this one. I wanted to cover this one real quick here. All right. This is from the New York Times. Again, this is a liberal newspaper, so if they're arguing this, they may have a point. So this is kind of more good news, and which is bad news for them, but it's more good news for us. So let's take a look what they have to say. New York Times analysts argue surge in voter turnout in 2020 could actually buck the norm and actually boost Trump. Because the common thought is if voter turnout is heavy, that means heavier than normal. That means the people who normally don't vote, like young people, will be the ones, voting, and they're the ones who will vote Democrat, and that'll help the Democrats. So let's see what he has to say. It's from Zachary Halishak, and this is from the Washington Examiner. The New York Times' Nate Cohn penned an analyst piece that bucking conventional trends said that there is an opportunity for higher voter turnout in 2020 to actually benefit President Trump's odds of being reelected. The upshot analysis found that instead of the traditional wisdom that higher voter turnout just helps Democrats, there are opportunities and risks for both parties. The author based his findings on voter registration files that validated turnout of 50,000 respondents to New York Times Siena College pre-election surveys in 2018, polls of unregistered voters, and census data. High voter turnout typically favors Democrats because younger, non-white, and less wealthy voters who tend to vote more for the Democrats are underrepresented at the polls. Right? They normally don't vote. But Trump has a base of support among less educated white voters who are also normally underrepresented at the polls, meaning that they normally don't go out to vote in big numbers either. So after the Democrats won the House in the 2018 midterm elections, flipping dozens of GOP-held seats, some saw that as a harbinger for 2020, although typically the party not in control fares better during midterm contests. Cohn found that Trump's white working class supporters from 2016 were likely to have not voted in 2018, again, which I don't understand. I don't understand that. Why would you not go out and vote? But anyway, although he contends that they are the likeliest to return and vote for Trump in 2020, which could hurt the Democrats' shot at the White House. Yeah, we all know the lazy asses who voted for Trump in 2016 who didn't vote in 2018. We know they'll be back in 2020. Okay, they're going to go to the big election because it's a big election. It's not the little election. It's worthy of their time, I guess. But okay, fine. I don't care as long as they get out in 2020. I'm over being mad about 2018. But anyway, so he's saying, look, these people are probably going to be the ones coming back out. They probably didn't vote that much in 2018. They probably stayed home. So that's actually an interesting little piece there. So it could turn out that between his poll numbers going up and also the surge in people who normally don't vote. I mean, he didn't vote in 2018. Who are going to vote again in 2020 and probably vote for Trump again in 2020, like they did in 2016. Because none of these people are going to vote for the Democrats and all their craziness. Because who would want to do that? I mean, they're just getting too crazy. They're not offering a valid alternative. They're not like saying, okay, this guy's crazy, vote for us, and we're normal. They're not offering any kind of normalcy on the left. And it's funny because you think if they did, maybe they'd attract some independents. Say, okay, we want somebody normal. But all their people they're putting up there are coming up with the craziest positions ever. I mean, Medicare for all is going to cost trillions. A Green New Deal, free health care for illegal immigrants, taking away if you have a union, if you're in a union, you have a great private insurance plan, you can't keep it anymore. You have to get this shitty government-run health care plan, which nobody knows how it's going to work. Nobody knows if it's even going to work, and nobody knows how many people are going to miss their surgeries or doctor appointments or visits because they're not getting paid, or who knows what the hell is going to happen. And you're going to ask these people to give up this great private insurance program they have, and turn it over to the federal government to run, which everybody knows the federal government can't run shit. And that's their platform. So when they're looking at independence and maybe trying to grab some Trump supporters away, what are they offering them? Nothing. They're not offering them a reason to not vote for Trump again. So yeah, they're going to be coming out to the polls. He's going to have his big rallies again, just like he's been doing. This guy, he's been rallying since he got elected. He's been running for re-election since he got in, which is great. He goes to these rallies. The crowds are big. I've been to 2 Trump rallies myself, and if you've never been to a Trump rally, find a way to get to one. Get over there and go see the president. It's definitely worth it. We got a little glitch there going on. A little glitch. Went glitch. I saw it. It went glitch, but hopefully the glitch is fixed. Looks like we're still going up, so we should still be happy. So anyway, yeah. So if you've never been to a Trump rally and you see one coming to a city near you, even if it's not in your city, travel. If you have to travel 600 miles, do it. It's well worth it. Plan ahead. Maybe you have to take half a day off from work or something. I don't know. They try to do them during the week, for the press coverage. They don't. They did them on the weekends in the midterms because they were doing a whole bunch right up until the day of the midterm election. The last one he did was that Sunday night, right before that Tuesday vote. But normally they do them during the week because they want the press coverage, during the week time. Generally 8 o'clock Eastern time. That's generally the best time when they do them because that gets all the late news coverage and everything in the local area. So, but yeah, if you see one close by, again, I've been to 2 of them. I went to one in 2016 and went to one in 2018. Yeah, 2018. So yeah, definitely check it out if you get an opportunity to do it. And everybody there is really cool. It's a lot of fun, and you have to go through a lot of security. It's a lot of waiting. You got to get there early. You got to get there early, but trust me, it's well worth it. So all right, so let's take a look over here at the other stories I was going to be talking about, which was let's see, China. Let's see. Da-da-da. Top Pentagon official: China a threat to our way of life in the United States. Tucker's been covering this actually pretty good. I think it's about the only one covering the threat of China. That there is no Russian threat. Russia's got the economy about the size of Texas. I think the entire Russian economy is just a little bit bigger than the economy of the state of Texas. All right. Yes, they have nuclear weapons. Yes, we have to deal with them and whatever. But I mean, as far as a threat, China is the biggest threat, both militarily because they have the money to build up a huge military. They're building up a huge air force and a huge navy right now to challenge us on the high seas. They're going to Africa. They're doing tons of. They just did the big African free trade agreement in Africa, tying I think 24, 26 African countries together, maybe more. And they were kind of the ones who put it together, so it obviously benefited them. They're going into South America. They're making inroads everywhere, and they're wanting to have control of the sea lanes and control of the air, and they have to knock us out of the way. So they're on a long-term plan. They're patient, but they're really working at it. And every president since George H.W. Bush has pretty much given away the farm to China to help them build their economy, and they use that economy to build up their military and their intelligence and their AI and everything else. So anyway, let's take a look at this story here. Let me grab a cigarette again real quick. Yeah, Karen, you're right about that, about highway. I can never figure out how to pronounce that. Huey, I'm just going to call it Huey. Anyway, Huey, like that. Huey. Away with you. There, no, I'm just kidding. So, like, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a big thing as far as viruses and everything else, and being able to listen in on stuff. There's, with the cell phones and everything else. No, I agree. That's why, the Trump administration, kind of was like, playing a little game with them right now to try to work out this trade deal. But yeah, Huawei is a big problem. So, all right, so let's take a look at the story. So, top Pentagon official: China a threat to our way of life in the United States. All right, it's by Joel Gerke of the Washington Examiner. Western strategists still underestimate the threat posed by China's emergence as a worldwide power, according to a top Pentagon official. The top of the list is China in terms of being the one country, the largest country, with the ability to change our way of life in the United States and to change the global order for good or for ill. Obviously, for ill. John Rood, the Undersecretary of Defense for Policy, said Saturday, it's not well understood by security thinkers that we are again in an ideological competition, just like we were with the former Soviet Union. Rood, the Pentagon's top advisor for defense policy, echoed Secretary of State Mike Pompeo's recent warnings about China's expanding influence in the Arctic, go figure, and South America, far-flung but strategically significant locations around the globe. He also cautioned against thinking of rising power as the rising power as a mere economic competitor. More than that, it's promoting an authoritarian model and is closely coupled with military activities, strategic military activities, intelligence activities, and the line between commercial activities in today's China and those of the state is a very, very thin line that exists mostly on paper. So basically, you got your commercial activities, and your military, and your state-run activities, and there's really not much daylight between the two of them. The habit of mind has driven animated and aggressive diplomatic campaign to discourage allies from partnering with Huawei, a telecommunications giant and technological pioneer that U.S. officials regard as a platform for Beijing spy services, as Karen Finley was just saying. But the Pentagon official cautioned that he is not calling for a return to the Cold War strategy that drove U.S. competition with the Soviet Union. Trade, commerce, investment, all welcome, he said at the 2019 Aspen Security Forum. But he stressed the importance of maintaining technological superiority over China, noting that the Defense Department has requested more funding for research and development than at any time in the last 70 years, with a clear focus on artificial intelligence. I feel very confident we can get to the point where we are just competing on models for innovation. Our model for innovation will beat theirs any day of the week, Root said. The Chinese recognize that. They know it because they have to steal from it, right? And that's the essential organizing principle of how they're going to fuel their innovative engine. Yeah, steal it from us. This is why that whole trade thing is so important as far as Trump is trying to prevent. In other words, if you're an American company and you want to do business in China, which is a huge market, you're going to make gazillions of dollars, they'll say, yeah, okay, you can come in, but you have to partner with this phony baloney, on paper only company. And what you have to do is you have to turn over all the blueprints to all your technology to this Chinese company. And when you go when you go 50-50 partner with them or whatever the number is. And if you don't do that, then you can't do business in China. And they even tell you, say, look, in about whatever the contract is, 10 years, 20 years, 5 years, whatever it is, we're going to kick you out and keep all the technology for ourselves. Well, these American companies are like, Well, yeah, that sounds awful, but then they look how much money they're going to make and say, well, okay, we're going to make gazillions. Yeah, we'll have to sell out our country in the meantime, but okay, screw the United States. We'll make our gazillions, let them have the technology, and we'll go back home. And that's what they've been doing for the last 25 years. So, Trump is trying to put a halt to that because Trump is trying to say, okay, look, you can't demand this anymore because even if companies say, okay, I'm not going to do that, well, the China says, well, there's 10 guys in the hallway. They're willing to do it right now. So either, and AMD does processors like Intel does. AMD just did a big deal like that, and they kind of sidestepped some regulations and stuff also to get it done. They handed them a really super high-speed computer processor that's obviously used in military equipment and military computers, and they somehow got around the Commerce Department in the way they did it because AMD was on its last legs. Intel had just run AMD into the ground as far as for processors. They weren't anywhere. They weren't doing anything. They were almost near bankruptcy. China recognized that and they reached out to AMD and said, "Look, man, we'll give you a shitload of money and we'll build you back up." And we just want all your technology. And AMD, the board of directors, the guys who work for AMD, were going to make a shitload of money on the deal, said, okay. And then they worked out with their lawyers how to get around the Commerce Department and the rules and regulations preventing that kind of transfer. And they did it. So even if you can get it back, it's too late. They already turned it over to the Chinese. So Chinese Communist Party is selling state-run authoritarianism with free market principles and some elements of that. Rude said there's a promotion of that philosophy worldwide that we're seeing to an unprecedented degree. So state-run authoritarianism. And to make matters worse, China just now opened the star tech stock market to boost industry. This is basically normally stock market has certain rules. You have to show like several years of profitability before you can put yourself on a stock market to sell stock to increase investment to increase your ability to produce things for research, design, and stuff like that. Well, China's just launched. Normally in the world, the stock market you go to is Nasdaq, and they have certain rules and regulations. Again, you have to have generally a couple years of profitability, and have some research grants and things actually on the market, and then you can go on to this exchange and actually try to raise money. Well, China is launching this new tech stock market in Shanghai. And they really relaxed the rules for Chinese companies to be able to go public and then to attract money, to build up their own tech business of their own. So to kind of get away from Nasdaq and get away from U.S. stocks and U.S. money and try to bring the money from other countries into China through the Shanghai stock market. And they just launched this just the last month. So that's kind of scary when you combine it with the last story. So Beijing, this is from the Washington Times. Trading starts Monday on a Chinese stock market for high-tech companies that play a key role in official development plans that are straining relations with Washington. Regulators have approved 25 companies in information technology and other fields seen by communist leaders as a path to prosperity and global influence, and of course for their military, for the Shanghai Stock Exchange's star market. The market modeled on the U.S.-based NASDAQ reflects the ruling Communist Party's desire to channel private capital into its development plans. It gives small Chinese investors a chance to buy into tech industries that until now have turned to Wall Street to sell shares. The star market has no direct link to Beijing's tariff war with President Trump over U.S. complaints China steals our precious companies to hand over technology. But it will raise money for industries some American officials see as a competitive threat to U.S. technology leadership. The new board's important role is to provide a fundraising channel for China's scientific and technological innovation, said economist Liu Zhui at Industrial Bank in Shanghai. So between those last two stories, you see China's kind of on our ass. In other words, look, we're talking about immigration. We're talking about, the elections. We're talking about all this stuff, but we can't forget about who's coming up on our ass. China. Okay? We can walk and chew bubble gum at the same time. So, it's important we kind of pay attention to this shit when it's going on because the Chinese aren't stopping because we're having a presidential election. They say, well, you guys are having a big presidential election. We'll kind of hold off on, taking over the world for a few minutes, let you guys get this done. It's like, no, that's not happening. Okay, that's not how the Chinese think. But anyway, live call-in shows, 775-273-8970. And as I said, I actually called in on a live video call with Anthony Brian Logan today at around 5:30 my time, 8:30 Eastern time. And it was really cool. So anyway, let me get some water first. All right, hold on. I'm going to put some AC on. I'll be right back. I'll be right back and put some AC on. Maybe I should be the zombie in the meantime while I come back. Let's see. Where's the zombie at? Where's the zombie? There we go. All right, guys, here comes the zombie. I'm going to put the air conditioning on. It's getting hot here. I'm in Nevada. It's really hot. All right, we're back. Hey, everybody. We should be back. We'll see you in a second. Here we go. Yay. There we are. All right, so hopefully, hold on, wait for the zombie to finish. Anyway, it looks like we're done with the zombie, so everybody like the zombie. All right, we're back. Hey, everybody. So, hey, who wants to capture my flag? If I capture the flag while he's gone, do I get his channel? Yes, actually, that would be a rule. If you show up and capture the flag, you get the Carl's Opinion YouTube channel. Yay! Stay away from my channel. They're intelligent conversation, no crazies here. Yes, Solex, thank you very much. That's a very nice compliment. Much appreciated. Yes, we try to hey we go hot and heavy on the Democrats. We go hot and heavy on the issues, but we try to give some in-depth analysis. We try to cover the story. So I don't know what the hell's going on all the time until I read all this stuff, and then you kind of figure things out. And that's good, because it makes you better, it makes you smarter. Then when you have to debate people on the other side, it makes you a better debater. It gives you more information to use, and it's just good to be informed. Like I was saying the other night, we're not. What I said yesterday, and I really meant it, is like the reason why we support Trump is because he supports us. Okay, he speaks for us. He speaks for working class and middle class Americans. And I said, we're not his cheerleaders. We're not his groupies. And I said, if anything, he's our cheerleader. He's cheering for us. And he's doing everything humanly possible to help us. Up, phone call coming in. Hey, Effie Real, how you doing?
Hi, Mr. Carl.
How you doing?
Me.
Yes, I see. Effie
the
loves
dancing
America.
Starfish.
The dancing starfish. It's the dancing starfish. Yay! See if I can find your.
It's me.
Yeah, I know. Let's see if I can find your name here. Hold on. I think I got it here. Let me see. Yep, there you are.
Okay.
Yep, I got your
It's
name.
my cat. I am not responsible for any swear words my cat might use during this conversation because he's his own cat. He's an adult and I can't control him.
Understood. But yeah, no. So, what do you think about the 48% for NBC News, 48% poll number? You like that?
Excuse me. What I think I like the best is the fact that they tried to ignore it, like you were saying.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't believe that.
Which proves that they think it's a pretty legit poll, because otherwise they'd be saying, yeah, this is a poll, but don't take it too seriously.
Right, and that's the problem. It
I
was their
like that.
poll. It was their poll. What were they going to say? Like, don't believe our poll. Our poll sucks. It was the NBC News poll, and then of course the other networks
Yeah.
can't say, oh, it's a bad poll, because they can't say CNN is a bad poll. I mean, CNN can't say, oh, don't trust the NBC poll, and of course MSNBC can't say it's a bad poll, and of course New York Times, the Washington Post, they can't say it's bad. So they're all in it together,
Hmm.
So they were stuck with it. But yeah, I mean, Brian
So
Williams didn't
they
even
have to
cover it.
ignore it. Yeah.
Yeah, Brian Williams
But
didn't even
even
cover
if
it.
we can pick apart the methodology, and every poll has some flaws in methodology, no, there is no perfect poll, but that's why we look at aggregates. But even so, like you were saying, comparing poll to their own poll. So their own poll showing the increases is the problem for them, because it's not an aggregate poll, it's their poll against their poll.
Right.
And so even with the flawed methodology, there's an increase. So that's the point. That's what makes it extra bitter pill for them to swallow, which I just love. Schadenfreude. That tastes almost as good as the cookie I ate for dinner tonight. So I'm happy. Are you
Wait.
happy? Because I'm happy.
In general?
Allegedly.
In general? Am I? Yes, yes, I am
Well,
happy.
about that anyway.
I am
Are you
happy in
happy
general.
about my cookie?
Well,
I had a cookie.
I mean, about to say, well, you were going to eat the bad eggs last night, so then today you're going to have a
I
cookie.
didn't eat them. Oh, what was that? I didn't eat them. Sorry about that noise.
Did
That
you go out
was,
to McDonald's? Did you go out to McDonald's
the
this morning?
furniture jumped out and hit me.
Did you go out?
No, I didn't do that to myself. But I did have a Chick-fil-A salad, but that's why I had a cookie, because one cancels out the other, as we know. That's the rules of dieting.
Right, right. Oh, wait, hold on. I got to just switch over this one cable real quick. Take half a second.
Okay, I'll do the zombie. Oh, I'm not getting a headache.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay, I'm back. Like there, you get to see me.
God.
You get to see me on camera, like going, trying to fix this one cable up. So that's good.
Yeah,
That's pretty
I hurt
cool.
my head doing that. I gotta stop. Well, ow, ow, I have a chocolate headache. Okay, so allegedly you don't have any crazy people in your chat, and I'm here to dispute that assertion. Because I'm calling in to tell you Florida stories, since it's a slow news day.
Okay, go ahead.
You want some Florida stories?
Yeah.
Okay. USA Today from 3 days ago. Oh, God, are you ready for this headline?
Yeah, hold on. I had a guy as a moderator, the guy that just came on Information Man show, and somehow he's no longer a moderator, so I just made him a moderator again. So anyway, I just had to do that. I'm like, shit, man, what happened?
Okay. YouTube is being all kinds of crazy right now. Okay.
Yeah,
3
I know.
days ago, Florida man attacks wife's lover with scissors. Flees with his penis, police say. So we have.
So he fled with his penis. He fled with his penis in his hand. Is that what you're saying?
He absconded with the man's pee-pee, Carl. This is serious. This is not something we can tolerate, not even in Florida. It's too crazy. So apparently, he came home. It's not funny. Stop laughing.
Well, it is funny.
He came home, and I'm sorry?
That is funny. Yeah, that is funny. That is funny. Yeah.
The guy kind of looks like The Rock's uglier, older uncle. Anyway.
So okay, so this was his wife.
Was arrested.
Okay, wait, hold on. Okay, who was arrested? You said he was arrested. Who's he?
The man who did the cutting off of the member got arrested.
Okay, so some guy chopped another guy's dick off. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
Okay, were they lovers, or were they just friends, or were they neighbors, or?
Okay, Alex Bonilla, age 49, in I think Tampa. Let's see. I'm not sure where it is. I read the story already. Now I'm in a different newspaper because it was blocking me. So I think it was Tampa. Yeah, he used scissors to cut off the penis of a man he suspected of sleeping with his wife, according to the law enforcement.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, yeah, that okay. I can see
So
that.
they arrested him.
Uh huh.
He broke into the man's house. He held him at gunpoint. He tied him to a chair.
Okay.
And he removed his member. I'm pretty sure, Carl, he did not use anesthesia, which
Okay.
is uncalled for.
Now,
if you're
okay.
going to do it.
Right now, how did he stop the bleeding?
Let's see.
Well, because see, right now, okay, I'll tell you the crimes.
unnamed victim.
Okay, I'll tell you the crimes I see right now. I see burglary, obviously, breaking and entering with intent to commit a crime. I see assault with a deadly weapon. I see battery with a deadly weapon. I see battery with substantial bodily injury.
Right.
And I'm just trying to think if he's gonna. And I see kidnapping.
Attempted murder.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, you could bleed out that way,
well,
right?
that's why I asked the question. How did he stop the bleeding?
If he packed the wound. But then, Carl, even if he packed the wound, wouldn't that be medical malpractice? Just saying. Okay.
Oh, yeah, okay, throw that in at the end, sure. Okay.
Let's call it medical malpractice while we're throwing it at him.
Right.
The unnamed, you don't know. No, actually, no. Here's the kicker. Bonilla. And I'm sorry, I'm in a different article than when I first read it. I just had to pull it up on a different tablet because my one tablet's busy doing things.
Right.
So he works for the VA in a medical facility.
Oh, really?
So this guy takes care of our veterans. This guy who cut off the pee-pee of the other guy.
Right, which means he probably packed the wound with some kind of ice or something so he wouldn't bleed out. So then you don't get to the attempted murder.
Goodness.
But
yeah.
but there's also like a lot of states have like a maiming.
Also child endangerment. 2 children were inside the home during the attack.
Yeah, like in my state there'd be a cat B. Those would be maybe cat B felonies, low end though. Yeah, and like
did
I
you
said,
mention burglary?
I already did.
And breaking and entering.
Oh, that's burglary.
He did that too.
Oh wait, hold it. Did he actually break something to break in? That'd be like home invasion also.
Well, it says he was arrested for aggravated assault, armed battery, and burglary, but that is only some of them because it says charges include. I'm sure they're going to add as many as they can before the week's over.
Yeah, every state has a little bit different type of laws on that. Like certain states, like if you actually have to bust something open to break the plane, like you have to break a lock or break a door. That's home invasion. Now, if you just like crawl through a doggy door, then that's just burglary because you didn't actually break anything. I mean, physically break anything. But for burglary, you don't have to physically break anything. You just have to break the plane. If the door's unlocked, you just walk in. That's still burglary because he had the intent to commit a crime when he got in there. Yeah. So
bond is set at $1.2 million.
Yeah, I mean, if you rack all those charges up, it's going to get pretty high. Because you can. $2 million.
He's a scary-looking fellow, Carl. He is definitely. You would cast him in a Hollywood movie.
The other guy should have been having sex with his wife. That's a violation. That's a violation of the 10 Commandments. That's Well, actually, his wife was committing the violation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
So he's going to get all of those charges against him, but we can at least add a couple of points for style and vengeance. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
But no. I don't know.
Yeah. So
I don't think that's going to mitigate his charges, Carl. I don't think so at one little bit.
Well,
you're the attorney. I don't know these things.
Well, I mean, I'd probably get him not guilty. But that's just me.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you're a freak, Carl. So
So basically my defense would be, this guy the guy that allegedly cut off the guy's penis. He was just minding his own business, standing outside. The guy dragged him inside and put the knife in his hand and cut his own penis off because he felt guilty about having sex with this man's wife.
Yeah.
There.
But there was a gun, and there were 2 children who were witnesses, and he broke in the house. And, by the way, apparently he caught them in May and waited this long, so he planned out the whole assault.
Well, yeah, proper planning prevents piss poor performance. You know that. You're an engineer. You know
this
that.
This guy
shit.
needs you as his defense attorney for sure. Oh my goodness, you're a magician.
Yeah, Information Man writes, and in the 10 Commandments. See, there you go. Exactly.
Okay, and this is how awesome. This is how awesome Floridians are. This is how awesome we are, Carl. Because we're awesome. I didn't know if you knew that. It's not just me. and Tony Patriot and Ron DeSantis. But most of us, we're freaking awesome. Most of the problems we have here, Carl, is people from other states coming and raining all over our parade and telling us we can't call ourselves crackers because it offends them. Those people.
You
But
you like calling yourself a cracker?
I'm a proud cracker, Carl. You don't know what cracker means here. We have a cracker museum. There's a cracker parade.
Oh God, no, I believe
it. It means cowboy.
Oh really? I did not know that.
You know, yes. Other people co-opted the word to mean something else, but you know, Yankees are wrong.
Yeah, you don't like
that's pretty much the golden rule.
You don't like us Yankees very much, do you?
Well, only when you're wrong.
So anyway, what do you think about this Chinese thing that I just covered?
So here's what happened.
Oh wait, are you going to keep going with the guy's dick getting cut off? Is there more to that story?
No. One more story.
Okay. Then we're going to go back to the guy's dick getting cut off.
In Chicago, apparently some silly Chicagoan, I can talk like a Yankee. Chicagoan.
No, you can't.
Some Chicagoan took an alligator, a baby alligator, captured it, took it as a pet, raised it up till it got pretty big, and then released it into a lake in Chicago, in a park. And apparently it started eating things and scaring people. There's a lagoon up there in a park. And so much so that he ended up having a name. Let me see what they started calling him. Something like Chomper. Let's see.
So
yeah,
what did the alligator? What did the alligator actually do?
Well, he just scared the Chicagoans because they're not used to seeing an alligator in their freaking lake, Carl. They don't live there. I don't know if you know that, but they're not native to Chicago.
Yeah. Now, I mean, it's kind of weird though. Like, can an alligator survive in water that cold? Like up in Lake Michigan or something?
No. Obviously it must have been released recently because it would not survive the winter. No, it would not.
Okay.
It would maybe be able to hibernate a bit, but it would probably die.
Well, I mean, that lake is even cold in the summertime. That's cold water. It's not like down where you live.
Well, it wasn't in the Great Lake. It was in a lagoon somewhere, but still.
Oh, okay. Well, how big was it?
But so what they did.
What do they do? Go ahead.
So they paid an alligator trapper to come up. His name's Frank Robb from St. Augustine, and he came to capture the alligator. Apparently Animal Care and Control in Chicago have been trying to catch this sucker for weeks, and they have been unable to do it. So they had to call in a Floridian to come and rescue their Yankee butt.
They actually brought one of you guys up there?
To fix it, yeah, because it's not even that big of a sucker. He's only about 4 feet. Yeah, they're holding him up. He's cute. He's smiling.
Wow.
They put a little bow around his neck. So, and they're delicious too. Just saying. Oh, he's 5'3". He's just a baby.
Oh,
5'3".
No, but I mean, for the people in Chicago, that'd be like freaking them out. They'd be all freaked out.
Yeah, it was. It was freaking them out. I mean, they're used to gangbangers, but alligators, hell no.
No, yeah, they don't want to see one of those. That'd totally mess them up big time.
It's unreasonable. This guy, Frank Robb, he trapped them.
So how'd you find?
And they gave him a first-class ticket back to Miami, and now he's happily residing in the Everglades. I think they let him keep the bow.
Oh, okay. So in other words, they trapped him. They actually transported him back down to Florida. They didn't kill him.
Well, yeah, because he's one of us, Carl.
Oh, okay. So
he got kidnapped and taken to Yankee land. It's not fair. He didn't ask to be brought there. He deserves DACA just like everybody else.
That's pretty good. But I mean, think about how much money that costs. I assume they transport him on a plane, right? They didn't just put him on a truck in a big thing of water, right? They actually put him on a plane and flew him back down to Florida.
Yeah, but we're going to get all that El Chapo money. Now I can pay for all that, so no problem.
Are you guys planning? I think a lot of states are going to be competing with you for that. I mean, who's actually supposed to get that? Who's actually supposed to get that money?
We have a lot of Guatemalans here, and I know this for a fact because number one, there's a lot in my county, but number two, my brother is a builder. He's a general contractor. So
Right.
I know for a fact we have a lot of illegal Guatemalans in this state. So yeah. Hey,
So
but
it,
if we do get the El Chapo money, Mexico will be paying, part of that promise at least.
to build a
Because
wall.
he's Mexican. He was born in Tijuana, I think, or something. I looked it up.
Well, yeah. I mean, why do you think
Anyway,
you're why do
Guzman, that's his name.
well, yeah, but why do you think you're entitled to it? Because you have a bunch of Guatemalan immigrants in your community. Why does that give you the right to get the money?
No, my understanding is it will probably be used for the bills that they're trying. Well, Ted Cruz said, yeah, it's going to be used for funding.
Well, how much money?
ICE and
How much money are they talking about? How much money
mhm,
did they actually? How much money did
$12
they actually
billion
seize?
dollars.
They actually seized $12 billion. They actually.
I don't know how much they seized. I know they're looking for $12 billion.
Well, okay, they can look all they want, but I mean, this guy's got it parked offshore somewhere. They're gonna have a hard time getting to it
Yeah, I know.
unless they offer him some kind
And
of a
where
deal.
where part of it is, it's in those numbered accounts. They're right in the
Yeah.
island, right south of it. Which number? Which count? Which
Yeah, and those islands
is
have
that place?
those islands have privacy laws. They can't disclose. They can't. They're not allowed to
Yeah.
disclose anything, or they can go to their own prison for 25 years. So
Yeah, I'd like to retire there.
and trust me, that means if nobody ever makes a claim on that money, those banks just get to hold on to it too. So they're in no rush to tell
Oh, I'm
anybody
sure they
about it.
do.
Yeah, so they get to keep it in their balance sheets.
Better than Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean, a lot better than Bitcoin, right? And the only way they're going to get that money is they make some kind of a deal with this guy to say, okay, look, give us some money and we'll let you out whenever. But they can't make that kind of deal with this guy. There's no way. So they're never going to see that. I mean,
Give me some money.
yeah. So they're talking about money they're never going to see. It's ridiculous.
I know it's pie in the sky, but me, I'm glasses half full. I think Mr. Cruz can find some of that money because he's on a mission.
Yeah. Okay.
You know.
I'll wait and see that.
Maybe there's some people that want to make us happy. Maybe no, let's face it, nobody cares. Oh, I got another box to open. I forgot. Anyway, so go ahead. What's the next story?
Oh, do you see it up on the screen? Do you see it up on the screen?
I took you on. No, I had to restart. Let me.
Oh, okay.
I have to get back in my security. 1 second. I just had to update my Wi-Fi. I had a little bit of a problem with some people who think they could get in my back door, and I'm not that kind of girl, Carl.
Right. You don't do that. You don't let that happen. You're a good person.
It's not going to happen. Nope.
Well, I'm not going there, so don't bait me like that. That was wrong.
Hey, I made the joke and I left it laying there.
You left it laying out there. Yeah, I'm not picking. No, I'm not picking it up. Not doing it. Why can't
they didn't even buy me dinner first, Carl. So I'm just saying.
Wait, hold on. Solix asked me a question. As you do law work, why can Cubans be deported immediately on capture and no one else can coming from other nations? Does it have to do with maritime law? Yeah, well, I think before.
Are they talking about the wet foot, dry foot policy?
Yeah, and then Obama get rid of that wet foot, dry foot, so like they're not allowed to come over here anymore automatically.
Yep.
So, because they're on a boat. Yeah, it's maritime. In other words, they never touch land, so they're still in international waters. So when they're in international waters, you can just turn them around because they haven't touched land yet. If they touch land and claim asylum, then then you're screwed. Then as soon as all they gotta do is just cross that line, and like even where the wall is, that wall is like 200 feet inland, or from where the border is. So even if they walk up to the wall, because the wall's not right on the border, if they get 100 feet into the United States, they say asylum. Well, they're in the United States already. They're there. Even before they cross the wall, but they're on the ocean. It's like, hey, you're on the ocean. Screw you. Turn around, go back. Just shoot them on back. And the Cuban government probably wants them back anyway, because the people leaving are probably the adventurous, risk takers, hardworking kind of people willing to risk their lives on the ocean. Those are the kind of people the Cuban government would want staying in their country, working and being productive. The scary cats or scaredy cats, whatever the word is, scary cats. They're not the ones getting on a boat, going across the ocean to get to Miami or Florida or anything. You know, these are the people who can
Sorry
actually,
for the noise there.
yeah, these are the industrious type people.
Yeah, I apologize. I'm not responding to your conversation at the moment. I'm just trying to get in on a different device because I am going to shut down this one until I can reconfigure the network over there. Just a thing.
I thought you knew.
I had
I thought you knew about computers.
things happen.
Yeah. No, like it was
I don't
funny.
know
Like, well,
anything
it was
about
funny. It was funny.
computers.
Like with this YouTube video I brought in, so they have the broadcast delay. I'm playing the video on the streaming computer, so I got to take the broadcast delay and everything off. And I thought I had it figured. I thought I had it figured out this afternoon and how I was going to do it, but obviously I didn't figure it out as well as I thought I did. So that was kind of funny.
Yeah, I'm pulling on down there. My whole network's down again. Shoot.
Oh
I got to
wow.
redo everything. Never mind. So I can't see
Okay.
your picture
Well, that's okay. Well, I'll tell you
at
the
the
story.
moment. I could probably do it on the phone simultaneously,
Nope,
but
nope. I'll just tell you.
then I had to put you on speaker.
Nope. I'll just tell you the story. Billionaire 2020 hopeful Tom
Okay.
Steyer. He says, "Rich is not how I see myself." So I'll read the story real quick. So this is hilarious. So the billionaire says, "Rich, that's not how I see myself. What worth 1.5 billion dollars." So this is from the Washington Times. Democratic presidential candidate and billionaire hedge fund manager Tom Steyer lamented Wednesday that people keep calling him rich. Now I know everybody always describes me as being rich. That is not how I see myself. The Farallon Capital founder, worth $1.6 billion, told everybody. Told a small gathering at a bookstore in San Francisco.
Sorry.
I know, and then he goes, but I can tell you this: the one thing
I
it does,
not.
I know it's hilarious, but I can tell you this: the one thing it does give me is the right to say nobody owns me. He said, I mean, I will do exactly what I think is right. Well, he sounds like Donald Trump. It's like, so people say, wait a second.
It doesn't. I was going to say that.
Yeah, so then, well, that's what Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren are saying. They're saying, well, wait a second, we already got one billionaire. We don't necessarily want another one because you're going to do what you want, and we don't know exactly what that is. So Steyer said he plans to dump $100 million of his own money into the campaign, and that fighting inequality will be one of his top priorities. But some attendees seem skeptical. I wonder why. I would love to see him take that $100 million he's spending on his campaign and plow that into progressive causes rather than running for president, even though that might be more high profile, Jonathan Lack told the New York Times. I've heard of him before just because he's a random billionaire, added Henry Grutzwig. I guess I'm curious on how an old white man billionaire is going to beat an old white man billionaire. Yeah, he's going to have a problem there in the Democratic Party.
Gosh.
Yeah, it's like wait a second.
We got to write some fan fiction. Clash of the Billionaires. We'll give them
I know.
lightsabers made out of money,
Right.
and then like gold coins fall off the lightsabers every time they hit. It's awesome.
It's funny because both Warren and Sanders went after him almost immediately. Like I think Warren went after him that day, and Sanders went after him the next day after he announced. And Warren was like, "Well, wait a second, we shouldn't." She's like, "Well, I know Tom Steyer, but we shouldn't have billionaires. Money shouldn't be the issue for determining who becomes president." So she attacked him from that angle, saying, just because you're rich doesn't mean you should be president. That's not. It should be the will of the people, not the will of your wallet. And then Sanders went after him, saying, we shouldn't have.
What does that mean?
Well, what it means is that, in other words, if what Warren is saying is that you can buy.
Already does take a ton of money to become president. It's just a matter of how you get the money, whether you're
I know, right? But what she's saying is, if you're a billionaire,
that's a silly argument.
Well, actually, no. On one level, it makes sense. You think about it.
What else they got, Carl?
Okay. Well, let me finish. What I'm saying is, what the point she's trying to make is that if you have a campaign, it should be based on a lot of small donors, meaning that a lot of people like you and agree with you and support you, versus if you're just one guy with $100 million, then maybe that's like 50 million people who don't like you, but would have given you $2, but you don't need them, so you're just going to do what you want anyway, and say what you want, do what you want, and not be beholden to the people. So, like he says, I'm not beholden to special interests.
Okay, Carl,
but
are we arguing reality-based arguments, or are we arguing pie-in-the-sky-based arguments?
No, I'm arguing what her point of view would be.
Which is pie in the sky, because we know it's corporate interest.
Right. We know. Right. And raising money doesn't mean you win. If it did
and
mean you,
unions.
right. Right.
Okay.
I
All
agree.
right.
Yeah, and we know if money won elections, then Hillary Clinton would be president. She outspent Trump 2-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she had more
And
organization,
yeah.
and she had more organization and more staff. In fact, they went through the numbers
Well, and
today.
to the point, more to the point of that direct argument, Carl, saying that money, quote, shouldn't be a requisite. Actually, if you look at what, not Omar, what's the other one? The one that looks like a lizard, Cortez. Cortez is talking about, not taking money, not taking bribes, that sort of thing. If you look at people being self-funded, then they're less controlled by outside interests, or in other words, not the direct voters. And large donations, large political donations, pay for play, in other words, gets removed from the equation of the campaign. Mm-hmm. So being self-funded means you're not beholden to that. So there's corruption either way possible, I guess.
Well,
but,
yeah, I mean,
seeing both sides of the argument is not a leftist trait, I guess. So continue. What else they got?
Well, okay, my next story is also from the Washington Examiner.
Oh, they don't have any more arguments? It's just it shouldn't be a billionaire. That's it?
That's it.
There's no more arguments?
No, well, I tried
very disappointing, Carl.
I tried telling you that, but you kept interrupting. So what's the point? Why should I tell you that?
Well, that's my job. I am the dancing starfish, Carl. You have to keep up.
Like a lizard. There you go. But
like
anyway,
a lizard?
No, Charity's Clarity. No, Charity's Clarity wrote like a lizard. I think she was talking about Cortez. No, you said that. Somebody said that the other night.
Cortez is the lizard.
Lizard, right. All right, well, anyway, here's the next story, and I'll get to that right now. And let's see. You're
having a good show tonight, Carl. It's really picked up lately.
Oh, well, thanks. Appreciate that. Well, yeah, I enjoy it. Well, I skipped out on like 3 days last week, so making up for lost time.
Yeah, canned, rested, ready to go. Rested and refreshed.
Well,
back for more. Back in the
that's it. Yeah. No, I was just busy as shit. So I was busy as shit, and I was tired. I'd come home and I'd fall asleep. So I was like, oh, well, okay. No YouTube tonight. It's like, got to go to sleep. But anyway, so here's the next story. Warren leads Biden and Sanders in 2020 campaign staff size. That's important because paid staff, volunteers are nice, but paid staff is what gets you across the finish line. So let's take a look at this story. So Warren leads Biden and Sanders in 2020 campaign staff, albeit none of them have the same number of campaign staff that Barack Obama or Hillary Clinton had at this time in 2008. But we'll look at the story anyway. So this is from the Washington Examiner. Elizabeth Warren. There we go. Elizabeth Warren's presidential campaign had more than 300 salaried staffers in the second quarter of the year, making her campaign the largest of the 2020 pack. Warren had 303 staffers on payroll, was closely followed by Bernie Sanders, whose campaign had 282 salary staffers, and they want more money. What do they think they are, socialists?
Carl. That's good.
They want more money. What do they want more money for? Don't they just want to vote for me? They want $15 an hour. I know I said $15 an hour is a good wage, but not for me. What are they talking about? I mean, from the government. Anyway, so Warren, so Sanders, whose campaign had 282 salary staffers, according to analysis by Politico. Joe Biden, frontrunner, came in third with only 193 salary staffers. Only 4 other campaigns have more than 100 on staff: Booker, Harris, Buttigieg, and O'Rourke. But Booker's running out of money quick. 2020 campaigns are far from the size of Barack Obama's 2008 operation, which employed 432 staffers. And if you want to see how to run a campaign, that's how you run a campaign. I'm surprised somebody didn't grab those guys, offer them like $20 million, say, hey, come work this campaign. I don't know. I mean, I'm whatever. But anyway, so which employed 432 staffers at this point in the primary. And at that time, Hillary Clinton had 339 staffers. Warren's strategy appears to be paying off. She pulled in more than $19 million in the second quarter despite eschewing high-dollar fundraisers. In other words, not going to them. Her campaign spent nearly $4.2 million in salary, payroll taxes, and insurance during that time period. Some of the campaign sizes are proving to be risky for lack of donations. Right, more than half of Booker's $5.3 million in expenses for the second quarter was spent on personnel. His campaign also spent $740,000 more than he raised during that same time period. The cost of staffing put Senators Gillibrand and Klobuchar in the red from April to June. So
So
there you
Booker
go.
spent all his money on a posse and probably some shoes.
Yeah, there you
And
go. Some boy
Warren's,
toys.
Warren's doing okay.
You know,
And
Warren.
Sanders, the staff was quitting on him because he doesn't believe he's minimum wage for thee, not for me. Okay, yeah, okay, I got it.
I like that. I'm going to use that.
But
Minimum wage
I
for
read
thee,
that
not for
story.
me. Oh, somebody wrote that. I thought you didn't make that up. Oh, too bad. That's pretty good though. I like that.
Yeah. Well, suddenly economics matters when it's coming out of his own budget. It's funny how that works, Carl. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Socialism is the belief in in creating social justice by spending other people's money, and that is that is clear when you look at this particular story, isn't it? Because that's not other people's money.
No, yeah,
So
yeah.
Wait! You want
Like,
me to pay?
right. Suddenly coming out of
It's
his
getting
pocket.
crazy up in here now. Come on.
It's like what's wrong with you people? It's like that was pretty funny. Well, I guess that has something to do with like overtime pay and stuff like that as well. Yeah. Just let everybody know.
Well, hell
Wait,
no.
hold
Yeah.
on. Let everybody know we don't take unknown persons. Although that would have been perfect for the troll machine.
What about paid time off in healthcare? What about pregnancy? Do they get maternity leave on his campaign?
You know, that's funny. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not.
What about maternity leave for the husbands? Don't those extreme leftists want more maternity leave for the men?
You know.
Wait a minute. What about pap smears for the men? Because men #men have periods too.
Wow. Yeah, I'm sure.
Walk the talk is all I'm saying.
I know exactly what you're saying. I'm sure Sanders is like, "Oh, now you're talking. Now you're talking lunacy." It's like now you're talking crazy talk. It's like, why would you even suggest
throwing
that?
your party's policies right back up in your face where they belong.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, I love it. Oh
Too
my
funny.
goodness, this is a good year, Carl. This is a good year. The crazy is just it's beautiful. It's kind of like, remember fractal art?
Who?
You ever see fractal art? You just kind of set a pattern, fractal's math thing, and it creates beautiful art on a computer screen. Looks like kind of tie-dye, but from space. Fractal
No,
art.
never
It's
saw
just
that.
beautiful to watch. It's just natural. It's math creating art. And it's just, you sit back and you watch it because it's going to happen. There's nothing, you don't have to do anything. It just happens because math. And the implosion of the Democrats is math. You can't say, it's like Billy Preston said, nothing from nothing leaves nothing. Reality is reality. You can't do anything about it.
Right.
The great philosopher said. And also, like the other great philosopher, Mick Jagger, said, you can't always get what you want, Carl.
But you can get what you need
if you try.
If you try.
Only sometimes.
Real hard.
Only sometimes.
There you go. But here's my next story. You'll like this one. Check this one out. This is funny. This is funny. Virginia Democrats threaten to boycott the Jamestown commemorations if President Trump attends. Now, I want you to think about Virginia for a second. Their governor is a guy who was in the picture either wearing a KKK outfit, a Klan outfit with a hood, or he was in black, or he was in blackface. And the lieutenant governor currently is facing
I think it was the blackface.
Yeah, and the lieutenant governor is currently facing 2 sexual assault allegations. Okay, so they're fine, obviously, with their governor and lieutenant governor going to this commemoration. Those two guys, they're fine. But President Trump showing up, like, oh my God, we can't go there for that. They're fine with their Democratic governor with the blackface, and they're fine with the Democratic governor with 2 sex assault charges against him. But President Trump showing up, well, that's just a bridge too far. That's too much. We can't handle that.
So should President Trump have 2 big posters behind him on the podium? One of the photo with the governor in it, one of which is the governor, and the other with the charges against the lieutenant governor. And just say nothing. Don't refer to them, but just continue speaking as per the usual.
I think you should
those
put
2 posters behind his head.
Right. You should put the picture of that picture with the Klan outfit and the blackface, right, on one big banner, and the other banner have a mugshot picture of the lieutenant governor listing out the charges. Yeah, I think that would be perfect.
There you go.
Yeah,
Perfect. Make it
yeah,
a mugshot. Make it, yeah.
Make
Meme it
it.
up a little. But
Yeah,
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 make it a mugshotty looky. You know, I'm sure there's a picture of this guy with a face
sure.
like oh, like this, like when he was walking down the street
See,
and like
Carl, they
somebody.
need to call us for the campaign advice because I got all kinds of ideas for commercials.
Yeah, you know, but it's just amazing that in that state of all states, with your governor who's got his own big issues, they're fine with him going to the
Yeah,
commemoration, and but the president going, well, that's just too much. And so Virginia Dems
sure.
threatened to boycott. It's like so they'd walk away from like the most historical thing they have going for them in their state that's not controversial. Well, I guess if you're an American Indian, I guess it's controversial, but Jamestown. I mean, shit.
Mm-hmm.
The first colony inside the United States. What would become the United States
Mm-hmm.
of America? And
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna skip that because the Orange Man shows up, and you can't stand to be in the same, not even the same room, but I guess the same outdoor event with him. Breathing the same air that's blowing
Mm-hmm.
around you at the same time. And if I was him,
Mm-hmm.
I'd say
It's
I'm
an
go.
infestation, Carl.
Yeah, if I was him, I'd go.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say, yeah, I'm going. You guys don't have to go if you don't want to, but I'll be there. And then he'll say, like, and if
Yeah,
I'm there, and plus he'll say, if I'm there, it'll be a big crowd. That's what he ought to say. Well, if I'm there, it'll be a big crowd.
yeah. If I go, it'll be successful.
Right. And
What
it'll
do
get.
those America haters want to do with any historical thing anyway? It's not. All they want to do is co-opt it and make it into something that it's not anyway. It's not even like they're historically accurate at any of these events. But
Right.
yeah, I think we should take a play out of the Democrats' playbook and do some astroturfing. Like they always accuse us of doing, but they actually do, and just keep bringing. Whatever Trump goes to, just make sure we have lots of Trump crowds because, he can draw the crowd.
Yeah.
So it's not even astroturfing. Just make sure to put the word out in the area. Hey, going to be here at this event, and just ignore the rest of it.
Well, not
Ignore what the leftists are saying.
well, not to mention
and just
Virginia. I
say,
mean,
it's a Trump event, and we're having it at the same time as this event. We'll be here too, and we're gonna set up. And who's gonna say no? The president can't get a permit.
oh yeah, like
That would be great.
yeah, no, I mean if he wants to be a dick, but he doesn't have to be a dick
Just
right
make
now.
make it his.
Well, here's the
Yeah.
problem. Here's the problem the Democrats are worried about is that there's a chance now, and Sixenhammer was talking about this. There's a chance now that Trump could actually take Virginia. He could turn that state red again.
I heard that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
he said he could potentially take two
Well, you
states.
saw the map I put in the chat yesterday.
I
Or was it this morning? I don't know.
I
One
remember
of
that.
those.
I remember that map very well because I was up that night very late and into the early
It was
morning.
a beautiful map, wasn't it?
It was a beautiful
That's a beautiful
map.
map. We should have a T-shirt with that map. Trump 2020 with the Reagan 84 map. Just cross out Reagan 84 and write Trump 2020.
Yeah, but the only thing
That
wrong
would
with
be cute.
the only thing wrong with that map is that he's probably going to take Minnesota.
Yeah, you think so?
He came really close.
Think so?
He came really close last time, and he barely not.
You think Omar, Democrat from Mogadishu, is going to do it for them? It's going to push them over the edge?
I think it's going to push a lot of people to come out to vote in Minnesota that maybe didn't vote in 2016, and those people are going to vote for Trump.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, that's good.
yeah. Well, no, he almost took Minnesota. He just didn't campaign up there because he thought there was no chance. They told him there was no chance you could take it, so he really didn't go up there. But I mean, shit. If he knew those numbers the way they turned out, I'm sure he was kicking somebody in the head, literally in the head, saying, like get down on the ground. I can't reach that high. Get down on the ground. And they start kicking him. He goes, "What the hell, man? We almost took Minnesota. You told me there was no chance I could take Minnesota. We almost took that damn state." And they did. And so I mean,
And that was then. I don't know. This is interesting because I would argue in this particular election, it's different from the last time because both bases are energized. The Democrat base was not energized in 2016. There were, of course, the radicals, the ones that were there crying.
Well, it all depends who they nominate, though. Okay. Say they nominate Biden. Okay, I'm telling you.
Okay, yeah, that's true. It depends on who's nominated.
Okay,
but they hate Trump so much. I think that's part of their energy, don't you think?
No. Look, we hated Clinton.
Well, it was part of the Republicans' energy. They hated Hillary so much. I mean,
Okay.
I certainly would have voted for any glass of water with an R on it to keep her out of office.
All right, here's the
I
deal.
mean,
Because you're probably
you
too
know.
young. You're probably too young to remember this, but I'm not. 1996. We as Republicans hated Bill
Uh-huh.
Clinton. We hated Bill Clinton. We couldn't stand Bill Clinton. But
Right.
in
Right.
1996, our party nominated Bob Dole instead of Pat Buchanan. And so, we know what we did?
Right.
We stayed home. I was one of those people that stayed home in
Mhm.
'96. And we said, fuck you. We're not going to let you nominate some establishment guy. We're going to show you how much you need us. And I'm telling you,
Mhm.
if they nominate Joe Biden, AOC and her friends are going to do just that. Because they're going to have to show the Democratic Party how much they really
Okay.
need the activists. And it worked for us. It worked for us.
So the Democrat Civil War, no matter who gets nominated, is going to work to our advantage at this point.
Well, not well. It all depends. Like, okay, say you nominate Elizabeth Warren. Okay, I can't see where AOC is going to
Right.
have a big problem with Elizabeth Warren. One, she's a woman. Yeah, she's got some
Okay.
ancestry problem, but her policies are all. I mean, AOC could. If Elizabeth Warren sat down with AOC, I'm sure AOC would be very happy. Okay, AOC used
But
to
she
work for.
certainly doesn't energize the base. But so all you've got is the trunk derangement syndrome to work
Well,
off of at that point,
now
is what you're saying?
you have that, or potentially if Warren goes and talks to AOC and says, "Hey, I need you." And when you tell someone like AOC, you need them.
Mhm.
I need you. I need your people. I
Mhm.
need your people out there. And I'll trust me. I'll give you plenty of credit. That if we go over the finish
Mhm.
line, trust me, I'm going to be pointing the fingers over at you guys, and maybe I'll give you a cabinet pick. Okay, you get to choose a cabinet
Mhm.
secretary. Something. A deal can be worked out.
Well, what I do remember is the Rock the Vote, and Rock the Vote did not work for Hillary. Didn't they do that for Hillary? They tried to get the young people to vote for Hillary again. They used it with
Yeah, but
Obama's reelection and with Hillary. But what
Hillary.
happened
Go ahead.
was young people still didn't vote. By and large, young people still their actual voting based on eligibility to vote is still very, very small percentage. They just don't vote.
Well,
So
they
even though
might
they
come
were
out this
all,
time.
you know,
They might come out this time.
they might.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, how many young? See, I didn't look at the stats, but like, how many young people came out to vote in 2018? I'm curious to see that number, because I think 2018 was
Yeah, I don't
more.
know.
I'm thinking 2018 was a reflection of more of the fact that it was a lot of us, like the white working class Trump voters, who didn't go out to vote. Okay, versus they
Right.
had more young
Well, I
kids
don't know. It
voting.
happened. I mean, here in Florida, we won everything. So I'm pretty happy about Florida. I mean, we
Yeah,
got the governorship. We kept that from happening, and
Senator
um,
Bill Nelson.
my local rep was Democrat. I think we had switched back to, I think, who was the guy, Nelson? Anyway,
Bill Nelson. He was
we
the gov.
got a
No.
Republican
Bill.
back in. Yeah, when he became senator, he was a rep, and then he became, well, anyway,
No, Bill
point being,
Nelson. Wait, Bill Nelson
I forgot.
lost. Bill Nelson retired, or I can't remember now. Did he lose or just
Yeah,
retire?
whatever it was, I can't recall who the Democrat was running. He might have retired because he moved on to be a senator, I think, and then retired, but I could be mistaken. But point being, the local Democrat, who I can't remember his name, lost, which was great because the year before, the election before, we had an opportunity to have Colonel Alan West,
Oh yeah, Alan West.
and he lost because they redistricted him, and the county north of me is really, really blue, so that kept him out. So the county with the most African Americans in it did not vote for the African American. Go figure.
Yeah, go.
But
So
that's Democrats.
that's the Democrats. Yeah. No, that's just yeah. They're really fractured right now, and I don't know how they're going to get that back. I'm curious to see what happens. I'm waiting to see when that BDS resolution, boycott, divestment, sanctions resolution, comes up, because remember that's Pelosi and
Right. With
the
the
leader,
competing, yeah.
right, the competing resolutions. So I'm curious to see how that gets
Mhm.
resolved. I want to see that, because I mean that's going to tell us a lot if Pelosi's able to shut her ass down, and then they
Yeah.
throw a big fit over that, or she just says, okay,
Right.
for unity's sake, I'm going to keep my mouth shut, and I'm going to withdraw it. I'm not going to push it. I'm curious because Pelosi's
What
not
do you
going to
call
back.
the floor rules of Congress when they have protocol rules in Congress? What do they call those rules? The protocol rules that you can't breach, or you allegedly can't breach, but Pelosi breached one of them.
I think
What do you
you're
call those?
like the parliamentary rules.
Yeah, parliamentary. Carl, would it be a breach of parliamentarian rules if they did a rap battle
A rap
with
battle?
those two bills that
Like
day? Yeah.
with Omar versus Pelosi?
Yeah.
My money's on Pelosi. Let me tell you something. That I would not want to get in a fight with that lady. That lady looks like she's vicious.
Well, she is a natural human beatbox, and she could use her dentures to put some sick beats down. So it would be
No,
pretty cool.
well, yeah, that woman didn't become Speaker of the House because she was nice. That's one mean lady. That is you can say what you want about Pelosi, but you cannot say she's not like a really great politician. I mean, she came up through the ranks and did whatever she had to do, and raised money, did favors with
Can you
people,
see her
blackmail.
saying, doing her rap, and that would be awesome. I'm in charge up in this bitch, and then drop the mic and leave. Oh my God.
Hey, let me see.
Oh,
Let me see if I
I
can
love
find.
it. It's
Hey,
a
hold
freak
on.
show, and I love it.
Let me see if I can find. Hold on. Okay. Let me see if I can
Freak
find.
show.
Remember that rap video I did? Were you on my site when I did that?
No.
Oh,
No, what
okay.
the hell, Carl? You're holding out on me. You didn't
Hold
tell me
on.
about your sick beats. What's happening here? You have a rap video. No, you might have mentioned it once actually. I might have
See.
drowned it out
Let me see if I can.
in
Let me
my
see if
head,
let me see if I can find
in
it.
my mind palette.
Let's see. Where would it be? I wonder if it's on this computer. I got to figure out which computer it's on. Is it on this one? Let's see.
Sorry if I talk over you a little. I'm walking in and out of some rooms, and sometimes I can't hear you. So I don't know if I'm interrupting. No, I'm really very rude. I don't know why you put up with me.
Not at all. Let's see if it's here. Let me see. Let me find it. All right. Let's see. Da-da-da.
Yeah, I'm getting hit at the same time that I got hit yesterday. I think I'm getting hit with a particular kind of attack on my. Yeah, I'm going to unplug that one. Be interesting if I get another call from Somalia after this.
Oh, if you get another phone call.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Yeah.
Let's see.
We'll see.
Nope, it's not on this computer. Let me see if it's on this computer. Let me see if I have it over here. Let's see. Let me see here. Maybe I have it on this computer. I can't remember which one I had it on. Let's see. Do, 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 do.
I almost got into another battle today at the group home. I had to take care of some stuff for my boy.
Oh, really?
Had to be Mama Bear. I said, yeah.
Well, I'm sorry you're
You
having
ever
to go
get up
through
in the
all
face
that.
of somebody that's a whole foot taller than you and tell them something that you had to tell them,
Right.
And that sounds kind of like a threat, and you're thinking, wait a minute. I'm within arm's reach, and I'm technically threatening this person.
Right. It's like shit. I'm gonna go to jail. I'm gonna go to jail. It's like, oh shit.
No. I was threatening them with legal action. I wasn't threatening
Oh.
them physically. I just realized that some people respond to that with physical reaction. That's all. I was like, wait a minute. This person's a hell of a lot bigger than me, and I'm threatening them.
Let's see.
You know what you're doing is illegal. It's like, then I went, uh-oh. Like, nope, stand your ground. It's too late now.
Yeah, kind of when you do something like
It's been a
that.
day.
Right. Let's see. Well, I can't find it.
Carl,
I thought I had it.
what happened? This is a professional program here. We're going to
I
have to
know.
give you the zombie, Carl.
Well, that's
I'm
what
sorry.
I'm looking for it because of my rap video and shit. Damn it.
You can't disappoint your millions of fans like this.
I know. Let's see. Is that it?
You have a responsibility.
What's that? Let me see. Oh, I'm whacking my head into the mic. Hold on.
Don't do that. Carl,
All right, hold
are
on. I
you
think.
putting dead air on while you're doing this look-in? Or are you putting
Oh
the zombie on while you're doing this look-in?
no, I got just dead air going on. There's just dead air. You're right. There's dead
Well,
air.
come on, dude.
I know.
See,
I
I
know.
can't see the computer. I don't know what's happening here. I can't even help you out. I could have been telling stories.
Oh wait, hold on. I got it pulled up. Hold on. Okay, hold on. All right. Okay, hold on.
Holding on.
I gotta move some cables around. I gotta move some cables around.
Oh, my goodness.
It might be worth it.
So once when I was 12 years old, I got stuck up in a 60-foot tree in the hills of Kentucky. No lie, it really happened. So my friend and I decided it would be a good idea to take a path through the woods we didn't normally take to go to the store, as you do. So we were about 11, 12 years old. And then about halfway through the path, my friend said, "The big kids are coming." And everybody knows when you're a smaller kid and the big kids are coming, you have to run and hide. So what we did was we cleverly climbed up a tree. Some kids had slapped a few 2x4s about halfway up the 60-foot tree. So once we shimmied halfway up, we used the 2x4s to climb the rest of the way up. And there was a big piece of plywood slapped across a couple of branches about that high off the ground on the other side
All
of
right.
the tree.
Okay.
A creek that was dry with rocks on the bottom. Hey, I'm telling a good story here. Now they're not going to know what happened.
Thank you for filling. Thank you for filling the time. Anyway, no, I'm not gonna play because I remembered I purchased a copyright song, but I'm not sure if I still own the rights to it. So if I played, I could get a copyright strike. So shit, can't do it.
Oh, okay.
Oh well.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about
Hey,
that.
do you want me to make you a graphic for your channel art?
No, I like what I got. I'm good to go.
No, not your icon, your channel art, where it's like nothing behind you, behind the dog.
Oh,
You know, like across. Go look at Tony Patriot's channel, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
okay. Let me take a look over there. Oh, hey, information man. Yeah, put a link to your channel in the description. Go for that. But hey, if you want to like information man, see, I'm trying to describe like a Black First site, where they have Black First issues. But if you want to hear an intelligent discussion on those issues, and you want to hear a different point of view than maybe you're used to hearing, that would be the site to go to. Information Man Show. He does a podcast. He does all kinds of things. He gives intelligent discussions on issues that people talk emotional about. He doesn't. He talks very intelligently about it. So if you want to check out his site, it's definitely worth checking out. Information Man Show. So if you're still on, put a link in the description. Let me see. Maybe I can find a link real quick here. I'll put a link in myself. Hold on. I'm actually a sub and I'm a moderator on that site. So let's see.
I know you have to do everything, Carl. You just
Hold on.
have to do everything. I can't even be online right now to help you put in your links out.
I'm doing it. Information Man Show. Let's see. Information.
So we made it all the way up to the plywood. We were about 60 feet off the ground, and then about 10 feet lower, there was a drop-off down into a dry creek below because it was dry season, and there were jagged rocks. So about a 70-foot drop from the plywood to the jagged rocks below. Should we fall off, we would have most certainly died. Well, the big kids left, and we were like, well, I think we can come down now. So I started to climb down, but my friend, she couldn't move. Her hands were rigidly attached to the side of the plywood and could not dislodge themselves. And I said, we have to go now. It's getting late. She couldn't move. She said, I can't. I didn't understand I can't because I come from a place of I can if I want to. These are not words I get, but she couldn't. So I had to call down for help until some other kids we knew finally walked by eventually, thank God.
Oh wait, hold on. It was funny. It was funny. Solex actually got it done quicker than I did. He goes, "I got your back." It's like,
okay,
damn.
I got the middle part of the story, so maybe we'll have the awesome conclusion another night.
We'll stay tuned for another interesting story told by Effie. Effie Loves America. Yes, we can hardly wait for the conclusion of that story.
True crap that happened to a wild Kentucky child. That's.
Well, let me take a look to see if there's any breaking news from the Washington Examiner. Generally has the latest breaking news. Let's see what they have. if they have anything new here. Let's see. The scene was. Let's see. Let's see. Biden won't promise Americans. Let's see. Biden brings in elderly volunteers to man phone bank. I don't know how exciting is that. Ted Cruz, Helicon, Pentagon for China. That's all. I covered those already. Let's see. Biden brings in elderly. Well, this might be an interesting story about Biden's stuff. Let's see what Biden has to say. All right. I guess he's having some problems. So that might be worth covering. Let's cover that. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Hey, no problem, information man. Yeah. No, if you want to watch, like I said, if you want to go see an intelligent discussion from a black first point of view, but intelligent, not emotional, intelligent discussion. Basically, if you go on his site, you'll be on the Google machine a lot or the DuckDuckGo machine because he does a lot of research. Again, that's what I like. He does a lot of research, and so he'll start going through his research, and you always have to Google it yourself to to read all about it. So definitely a good brain stimulating site to go to. Information Man Show. He does a podcast also. Definitely worth checking out. And there's a link in the description. I got a link there. Information Man put it up. I put it up. And Solex, thank you, Solex, for putting it up as well. Appreciate that. All right, so let's take a look here.
I like Carl. I like
Yeah.
how you corrected yourself to DuckDuckGo there. I'm
Well,
proud of you,
I
Carl.
know I added it. I added DuckDuckGo. I did it for you. That's
Yeah.
why I added it.
I'm
Okay.
rubbing off on you.
But
I
do
noticed.
Google.
I'm proud of you.
But anyway, so here let's take a look. Let's take a look at this story. Biden brings in elderly volunteers to man phone bank. Check that out. So anyway,
What the heck?
yep. Oh, this is from Las Vegas. Okay, I definitely want to see this story. This is 60 miles away from me, Las Vegas, Nevada. While his rivals like Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren have armies of 20-somethings and under canvassing throughout their early primary states to help their favorite candidates secure the Democratic nomination, Joe Biden's volunteers at his Las Vegas, Nevada phone bank were strikingly geriatric. Around 50 supporters of the former vice president gathered at the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 396, I think I know where that is, Saturday morning to make phone calls to Democrats across the country and make the case for their favorite candidate on what the campaign called National Action Day. Yet there was a rather lack of enthusiasm in the room. Oh, that's kind of a swipe. Even as all the volunteers anxiously sat around waiting for Biden to walk through the door. So much so that the local organizer had to remind them that the former vice president is coming, which is exciting. The median age of the room could have easily been 60 years old median age, with some volunteers who spoke to the Washington Examiner reminiscing on how they campaigned for former Democratic politicians like Missouri Representative Dick Gephardt and New Jersey Senator Bill Bradley 2 decades ago. And there's a picture. Well, these people look too. Well, look, I think this guy's kind of hyping this story. I mean, look at this picture. They don't look real old. I don't know. I mean, they don't look like real old. I mean, God, whoever this kid is that wrote this, well, now I'm kind of pissed off.
Low resolution photography makes us look younger.
Well, no. I mean, some of these people look like they're my age. I'm not old. Fuck you. I'm not old. Who's the fuck is this young kid writing this? Wait, what's this kid's name? Let me see this. What's this kid's name who's writing this? Joseph Simonson. Yeah, he's
Freaking
probably
whippersnappers.
Yeah, freaking whippersnappers. He's like 22 years old, like all these old people. Look, I'm looking. These people are like my age. What the fuck's he talking about? Old people. What a dick.
Whippersnappers.
You know what? I'm going to go out and vote for Joe Biden. I'm going to switch parties. I'm going to go to the Nevada Democratic caucus. And I'm going to vote for Joe Biden. And then hopefully this guy shows up, and I'm going to say, so you think I'm old, right? Then bam, whack him. And go, hey, there's an old man hitting you. How does that feel? How does that feel? Huh? How does that feel? Huh? Do one of those on him.
Like Buzz Aldrin punching that guy from, harassing him about the moon landing.
Well, let's look up this Simonson guy real quick. Let's take a look and see who the hell he is. Okay, hold on. Okay, do your DuckDuckGo. I'm going to do my Google. Joseph Simonson with the Washington Examiner.
I can't. I'm not online right now. They're hitting me again tonight. I'm getting a particular, I'm not going to say what, but a particular kind of attack is occurring right now. I'm disconnected 100% right now.
Well, yeah, don't link it over to me. Don't bring it my way.
No. It's, it's not like that. No.
Okay, hold on.
They're trying to keep me from escaping my hovel where I do things.
Hold on. Let's get this guy up here.
Somebody found me. Sometimes that happens. I just have to change some stuff around. And then I'm somebody else, and then they can't find me again for a while.
Okay, here we go. Joshua Simonson, Washington Examiner. Let's see. Pull this guy up here. Let's see. Oh, there's like a Wikipedia page on this guy.
Mm. Well, gosh, Wikipedia is trustworthy. That's almost as trustworthy as Google.
I just want a picture of this idiot so I can, like, point him out in a crowd. Political reporter. Like, there's no way to even click on him. Click here to view media clips. There we go.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, here we go.
He's
this little
20,
punk.
24.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to pull. I think
24.
I think he's the guy on the right, if I had to take a guess.
Okay.
Let's see. Let me take a look at the next picture. Let's see where. Yep, here we go.
Whippersnappers.
Yep, here we go.
They got no respect, Carl.
Okay, I'm going to pull him up right now.
Oh, I need ice up in this thing.
I gotta pull. I gotta pull your name off for a
My
second.
Diet Coke is not cold enough. It's a crime.
Okay, he's the guy on the right.
I have an emergency. I'm down to 2. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. Here's this little. Okay, here's this little punk ass kid who, by the way, is fat and overweight. Okay, he's one of those guys who ate a lot of Twinkies. He's at home. You can see him here in a second.
God, I hate Twinkies. Yeah, that's inexcusable. Oh, leg cramp. Ooh, leg cramp.
Yeah. Okay, he should be coming up here any second now. Here we go. Well, damn it, it should be up by now. Let's go. Where the hell's it going? There he is. Okay, okay. I'm gonna take your name off. You'll see his face. Oh, you can't see it.
I can't see it.
All right,
How old is he? I guess 24.
I don't know.
Am I right?
He looks about 24. He's the guy on the right. Okay, if you're looking at the screen, he's the guy on the right-hand side. I looked at some other photos of him. He's the guy on the right. Yeah, what is a dick?
Okay.
Like all these old people. It's like there's people like in their 50s. The median age was 60. Yeah, the median age is 60. I mean, you got people in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, and then you got people in their 60s, and your 70s, and 80s. But it's like I didn't see a lot of people in their 80s.
Dudes in their 20s don't know how to guess ages.
No,
really
the way he made it sound like these people will walk around in walkers. They had walkers and shit. Or they're on wheelchairs. Like all these, like he probably thinks the guy on the screen opposite him is an old guy. That's what I'm saying. Like the guy like on the screen, you can't see it, but he probably thinks that guy's an old dude. He's like, fuck him. He looks like a little spoiled brat too. He looks like a mama's boy. He looks like like a real pussy. That's what he looks like. Yeah, I hope he comes to Vegas.
Right.
Hopefully there's a Trump rally out here and he covers it, and I'll be like, hey, you're the Washington Examiner. Yeah, I'm a Republican. I'm right with you, right? Then I'll get him close, and then bam. Because he'll be like, yeah, I'm on your side. I'm with the Washington Examiner. It's like, yeah, come here, man. Hey, let's walk outside. I'll buy you a drink. Hey, yeah, let's walk down this alley. Hey. What? Now watch.
This
watch.
is why I like your reading of the news, because of the quality, in-depth analysis.
Definitely, without a doubt. Well, in fact, here's the sad part. This guy's probably going to come to Vegas, get mugged. I'm going to be like in the area, and then I'll get blamed. So like the next Trump rally, I can't even go to because I figure this guy might be there, and if he gets hurt, I'll be like the number one suspect. They'll be like, oh yeah, look at the YouTube video, right? And then there'll be a dumb picture of me. Like it'll be a worse still shot from this whole video of me going, like busted, So.
Carl, you know what we need to do? We need to go in on this project. We need to find a movie company to help us produce. We need to do a zombie movie, but Trump hats just by themselves that have become zombified and are terrorizing Democrats across the country, running, screaming from the horde of zombie hats, Trump hats. Night of the Trump hats. Wouldn't that be awesome? I actually witnessed it firsthand. My cousin got terrified by a zombie hat. I mean, a zombie hat, a Trump hat that wasn't even on a person.
Wow.
It was on an alligator.
Oh wow, no
And
kidding.
yeah,
I mean, wait, did they
yeah,
actually put it?
not
They
a
actually,
living alligator.
oh, I was about to say that would have been funny. Like it was like they actually somehow wrapped a Trump hat around an alligator while it was like asleep, and it woke up and it started walking
Not
around with a
yet,
Trump
no.
hat. That would have been pretty cool.
They
I
might
mean,
liked it.
well, you guys should do something like that down there. Like get like next time you take an alligator into captivity and you knock it out, put it to sleep for some reason, and then like strap on a hat, on top of its head where it can't rip it off, and watch
Why
him walk
would
around
we
with the.
knock out an
Well, no,
alligator?
no. If you
Why,
like, no,
Carl,
I'm
why are
talking
you
about.
so violent?
No, I'm talking about like. Did you hear what I said? You obviously were not listening to me as usual. What I said
To
was,
put a hat on it. You don't got to
no,
knock out an
no,
alligator to
no,
put a hat.
no. What I was
Okay.
saying, like the next time you have to like take an alligator into captivity, you have to knock him out. Like you knock him out to transport him or something, or like to maybe fix a
Mm-hmm.
tooth or something. I don't know. You're being nice, being altruistic. You're helping the alligator out. Well, the next time you do that and the alligator's
Mm-hmm.
asleep, you strap a hat on him, a Trump hat on him, and then watch him walk around with it,
Mm-hmm.
and then like take pictures and shit. And say, look, even the
Probably
alligators are voting.
somebody's done that already, though.
Well, I know, but I don't know. You can't duck go it. See, you can't even Trump alligator
I
wearing Trump.
can't.
Well, let me take a look. The alligator wearing Trump hat. I
But
mean,
what I'm going to do, Carl, is I'm going to go take a picture of the alligator down the street, and I will send it to you so you can put it up on your screen next time. Because there is an alligator with a Trump hat on it in a shop around the corner.
I want a live one with a hat on it.
God, you're so demanding. That's because you once voted for a Democrat. You haven't let go of your Democrat ways 100%.
Voted for him twice.
I've never voted for them.
I voted for him.
Damn.
Voted for him twice. 2008 and 2012. Voted for Barack Obama twice. 2008, 2012. Okay, hold on. I got some stuff.
Pay more penance.
Hold on. Images with alligator with Trump hat. Let me see.
Oh, cool.
Well, let me see. Well, it doesn't say anything. It says images, and then I look at. It doesn't look like this. Looks like much of an. Oh, hold. Here we go. Oh, okay. This one's alive. I think this one's alive. Let me see.
Is he? That's good news.
Let's see.
Should I buy a new car? The car, Carl. Your name rhymes with car, and I couldn't speak properly. Sorry, my stutter came out. I need a new car, I think. I don't like spending money. I hate spending money.
Let's see. Let me bookmark this page, and then I'll take it up.
I keep getting all this mail suggesting I buy a new car, and then I'm thinking maybe I should take one of them up on it.
Okay, hold on. Let me pull this one up. Let me see here. Oh, I can just do it right from here. Here we go.
My cat's being good. He hasn't said a word since you've been on the phone. I think he got upset that, he wasn't appreciated yesterday. They hold grudges, Carl. Don't even let their cute little faces fool you.
Let's see. That should do it. Yep, there he is. He's on the screen right now. See? Alligator with a Trump hat.
Ah. Well, when I get to watch the replay, I'll get to see it. It's a living one?
Yeah. It looks like it's alive. It's in the grass.
Yeah. Is it okay, so is his mouth banded?
It's got some.
His mouth is banded?
Nope. He's got his mouth open.
Oh, his mouth is open. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, that's how we transport alligators. We band their mouths and we don't knock them out.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know these things. I don't know this thing.
Well,
so
watch a nature program, damn it.
He's on.
Everything is not politics, Carl.
No, everything is politics, even politics of the wild. But it's all politics.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so there he is.
Yeah, like my cat. He's a Democrat for sure, and we've had this debate all the time. So.
Right. Oh, there's D.A. Archer.
He just lays around and wants to be taken care of, and then he bitches about it later because he's just a chubby Democrat, just like that guy, the chubby millennial.
Yeah. But anyway,
Oh,
see what time is
my
it?
son got a secret a draft notice, not a draft notice. What is it called? Selective service.
Selective service
My
registration.
son,
Yeah.
yeah, that came today. That's kind of funny. I mean, it's sad, but it's it's just kind of cool. You know,
Yeah.
my baby got a selective service.
Yeah,
You know, we have to
I remember
support,
that when that came
take
out.
care of that.
I remember when that came out. We had to go down and register. 'Cause that came out when I was a teenager. We had to go down
Yeah.
and register for the draft. They're thinking about
I
reinstilling the
don't know
draft
what
again.
my procedure, for my son is, but obviously he can't register. But
Right, you probably get an exemption.
I
Probably
don't
some.
know.
Yeah, just look at just go it. Okay, I mean you could Google it, probably find it faster, but you could do it, or you could do it your way. You know what? I wonder if that's why your computers went down. You're not using Google. They get mad. They get mad when you don't use
That
them.
could be.
Yeah, that could very well be.
Yeah, they're out to get me for sure.
That's I'm a Google Family Plan member and an Amazon Prime member. I don't have any problems.
Oh, they have a file.
And I'm a subscriber. I'm also a subscriber to the Washington Post. I have zero problems. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, some animals are more equal than others, Carl.
Exactly. Well, the nice thing about being
Okay.
The Google Family Plan, you get everything that Google has. You get all the movies and the music and stuff. And Prime, you get a ton of free stuff. I mean, well, that guy's the richest guy in the world, so you get all these free movies, all these free TV shows, all these free old series and stuff. All,
Mm-hmm.
from the very beginning, you get all the
Carl?
seasons, Sopranos, everything. It's great. What?
Okay, but when when something is free that the product is you.
Everybody knows
You
everything
know
about
that,
me.
right?
Everything knows me everything about me anyway. So they're selling. You know what? You know what though? It's cool because they know I
When the
buy.
product is free, Carl, they own you. You're the
Yeah.
product.
No, they're just renting me.
So, just
They're just
saying.
they're just renting me.
They're just renting you.
That's okay because
You're
then
just a hoe for free movies, Carl.
you know what? No problem. I'll be a hoe for free movies. No problem. I get free movies and free
For
music.
free entertainment.
And
Yeah. Well,
not to mention,
Call
even
of
though
Duty.
you know what the best thing is, even when I don't think I need to buy something, something pops up on my screen. I said, I think I need to buy that, and that's a good, So think how good that is. They sell you stuff even when you don't need it. I mean, how much better can it get?
Diet Coke
What?
just went out my nose, Carl, and you Coke just went
Oh,
out my
oh,
nose, and I
oh,
blame you.
oh, DA Archer wants to know how long we've been on. Say, DA, we've been on for 2.5 hours.
Too damn long. DA's Batman.
It's two and a half
Hi,
hours.
Batman.
Hey, there he is. But anyway, speaking of 2.5 hours, I am going to go ahead and end the stream.
Too long.
And so, Miss Effie
Yeah.
Love, if you want to hold on a sec, we'll say goodnight. And so, to everybody who's been in the chat room, to Effie Loves America who called in. Nobody else called in, right? Just you? Yeah. Effie Loves America who called in.
Yeah.
And everybody who'll be watching this video later.
Nobody else loved us tonight, Carl.
Nobody. That's so sad. We're friendless. But anyway, so to everybody who's been viewing the video, everybody who's been in the chat room, and everybody who'll be watching it later, thank you for Carl's opinion. This is Carl. Have a great night. Take care. And for Effie Loves America, Effie would like to say goodnight.
Good night, everybody. Hugs and stuff.
All right. Hugs and stuff, guys. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Good night.
Bye-bye.